but I'm just saying.
I don't think the word I want to use is lucky, but I will use it, that at this time of year the ground is so warm still that even if we get a little bit of accumulation, it'll kind of melt off on its own within 24 hours probably. So you still have time. This is your last warning. Change the oil, check the tires, and your snowblower. Okay?
It
We knew it was coming.
It probably is.
But this is your last call. It's the last call, guys. Weekend.
I kind of feel like it warms back up a little bit again. I mean, you never know.
Don't.
Listen, we've had 70 degrees at Christmas. You never know.
Last minute folks like me don't need to hear it might warm up again. We need to hear accumulating snow, so we have to change the oil and check the tires on the snowblower.
That is a fair point. So, listen, big snowstorm coming. Davey, have you reached out to Mayor Galimi? I'd love to get him on today before all of a sudden all the surmising goes on. But the word that we've heard is there was I can't imagine this would happen on one occasion, but man, I got to tell you, I feel a little bad for Mike Gentile.
It's a tough week.
I mean, a tough time. He lost the chairmanship. He was city chair of the Republican Party. And then he lost the election the other night. And now he has been let go as chief of staff for Mayor Galimi. That's a rough little run. I've been there, by the way. I've been there.
Well, as we
Galimi
said,
got rid of me too once.
As we said, a guy with a lot on his plate between.
Well, we went from a lot on his plate to nothing. Well, that's not true because he's still very instrumental in Little League.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
No, but I mean with the county ledge,
which doesn't pay.
The city of Utica, the Little League stuff, the chairmanship,
yeah, a lot. So
I guess I didn't realize he was chair of the Utica committee. I thought Steve Ruffero was.
He is, but prior to Steve Ruffero, Gentile was.
I thought it had been for a while though. No, it just happened.
I'm pretty sure Mike was was city chair after Hobica. Remember, Hobica was the city chair,
right?
So yeah. Well, there we are.
So I sent a text message out to Mike Gentile. I did not hear back from him. We're going to
Well, it'd be good to hear from the mayor. And then I would just ask if anybody in New Hartford, I heard there was there's stuff that went down in New Hartford that might be construed as aftermath of the from the election on Tuesday. So if somebody knows something there and they want to pipe in, we'd love to hear what they have to say and inform listeners, those who are tuned in right now at this very moment, a little insight as to what's going on over in New Hartford. So a couple of very interesting stories out there this morning involving personnel.
Yeah,
that's what how I guess I'd put it. As I said, we'll speak with Jeff Maurer from the Weather Channel on this transition, if you will. Call it a transition, coming on Monday and Tuesday. But then it seems like we're going to bounce back a little bit, and we'll talk about it. Willie Waffle coming up in a few minutes, from movies and streaming to entertainment news. There's a lot going on out there. A lot of switching. I think that you have industries that are trying to redefine themselves in the digital age, whether it be music or movies or news or entertainment. It's a very interesting time. Willie Waffle's coming up. Keith Scheibel is an Oneida County legislator who has a lot to say about the operations of the Republican Party in Oneida County. It was a rough Tuesday in Oneida County. County Executive Anthony Pacini will pipe in on that as well. And what is the this is Lung Cancer Screening Awareness Month. We want to get that out there. I'm always big on getting those messages out to people. And Davey, Hobica's free money question of the day today is going to be worth, for this Friday, $300.
Your chance to win $3 from $300.
$300. Your chance to win that comes up at 7:35-ish here this morning. So, and then everything else that goes on. There's a lot happening, and I do think,
My goodness.
and I could be nuts about this, I do think today is the day that a deal of some sort is negotiated, and we move towards ending the shutdown.
I hope
And it's got to happen.
Yeah,
I think today
right.
is the day. We'll see.
But can we have a busier show? I mean, my goodness.
There's a lot going on. There is a movement here. There's a movement. We'll see where it goes. And there's a movement in the weather where we're transitioning, as we do every year, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you love the outdoors and outdoor winter sports. Jeff Maher is a meteorologist with the Weather Channel on the line now. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I thought about this the other day as I really reflected on last year, where we, especially, you could go to the east of us, and there might be 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground. If you went to the west or north of us last year, right into March, there may have been 20 feet of snow on the ground. I mean,
boy.
that much of a differential. And I thought about that, and I kind of, I always am the one to say, oh, terrible, the dreaded snowflake is here. But there are so many people that love the outdoors, that love upstate New York for its skiing and hockey and everything they can do outdoors. They have a completely different look. I think I was born in the wrong place. But we're looking at a bit of a transition here, Jeff, it looks like.
Yeah, we really are. We're going to go from a high today in the mid-50s, and we'll still be in the 50s Saturday and Sunday. But then big changes as we head into early next week. We've got a strong cold front that's going to sweep through, and as a result, our high Monday in the low 40s. We'll start off with rain early Monday, but then snow begins to mix in, and it should be all snow from Monday night into Veterans Day on Tuesday. How about lows in the mid-20s on Monday night, and high temperatures on Veterans Day only in the upper 30s. So we are going to see some snow. Now, overall, ground surface temperature is not really cold enough to result in a lot of accumulation, but we may see a little bit of a dusting as you get higher up in elevation in the Adirondacks. We may see a little bit of light accumulation. Looks like most of the accumulation will be southeast of Lakes Erie and Ontario, where we'll have some gusty northwesterly winds resulting in lake effects. Now, that may get an inch or two, but we're going to get a lot of rain in advance of this front, off and on from today into the weekend, with highs in the low to mid-50s from today through Saturday and Sunday, and then the cold air and the snow as we wrap up Monday afternoon and head into Monday night.
I hate this weather.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm sorry, Jeff. I was being optimistic. A lot of people love this weather. A lot of people love the snow.
So
Snowmobiling, I forgot to mention that. It's
the
huge up here.
snowmobiling, I get it, but you can't snowmobile in what we're going to see this weekend or Tuesday.
No, this weekend's going to be nasty.
You can't. You can make a big mess in the mud, but you can't
That's a very good
snowmobile in
point.
it.
We had this kind of set up, December, we'd have some, when the ground surface temperatures are colder, we'd have some big lake effect snows, certainly. But
Well, one thing is for sure, as we've talked to our resident gardener yesterday on even your evergreen bushes and trees and all of that stuff, the lack of rain this year is still affecting going into the winter. So the more rain we get this weekend is probably good for your front or backyard, I guess.
Yeah, we need the rain, and we've got several rounds coming up. The first round will move in this afternoon with some gusty winds out of the southeast. That rain increases tonight with the first front moving through, and then a second front will approach Saturday, resulting in showers. We'll see rain as well as we head into Sunday, and starting to mix it with snow Monday afternoon, and then all over to periods of snow Monday night and on Tuesday. So, yeah, we need rain. We're going to get a lot of rain as we make our way over the next several days before we see that transition.
Jeff, a two-part question here, and forgive my ignorance because I have no idea. But when we talk about lake effect snow, I know locally and in many parts of New York State there have been drought conditions. So one is, what is the lake that feeds the snowfall when we talk for upstate New York about lake effect snow? That's number one. And number two is, with drought conditions, I wonder if that water body is lower, and does that affect the amount of snow that we might see this year when it comes to lake effect accumulation?
Well, we're talking about Lake Ontario when we talk about, upstate New York for sure. Obviously, you get down towards Buffalo in the Southtown area. We're talking about Lake Erie, usually with winds out of the west and the northwest. But,
a lot of water there.
We haven't. Yeah, we haven't had much, a whole lot of rain as far as annual precipitation. As you mentioned, we could use some, but the lake's so big that I don't think if we get a cold enough shot of air as we make our way into later this month into December, we'll have enough moisture in place for lake effect snow for sure.
I think I saw somebody just recently say if we ever get to the point where we're short on water in the Great Lakes,
we're in trouble.
We're in big trouble. The planet is about to die. So. That is that. But where we're seeing huge droughts and low water levels is the reservoirs in the area, which have now become almost resort areas or places where people buy properties and have lakeside, lakefront views and that sort of thing. But the water this year got so low you could literally this year see the bottom.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the seasonal outlook for the winter from NOAA, and it looks like we've got an equal chance. We've got a La Nina winter developing, so when you take that into account, it looks like equal chances of above or below precipitation. So, we'll see what we get coming up this winter. But, yeah, it's only a matter of time, as we start to bring in the colder air, we get that ground surface temperatures lower. That's when we'll start to see some more accumulation.
And then finally, I do want to – the one thing that I always forget is – I installed all of these, I think they call them no frost or no freeze hose spigots, your outdoor water supply.
Okay.
And your hose is connected to it. Those things, you don't have to turn the water off from inside your house. You can leave the water on, but you must unhook your hose. If you do not unhook your hose, you may, these overnight lows, Jeff, are low enough where you could get some breaks in the water pipe if you leave your hose connected and on.
Yeah, down to the mid-20s Monday night and early on Tuesday morning. So that's definitely cold enough.
All right.
And luckily we get back to low 30s for Wednesday night. So overall
it's warming up again.
Definitely colder.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Thank you as always. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather.
You got it. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks.
So is that what he said? Like, forgive me for the ignorance of my question. I just really
remember
no
the
idea.
oceans are rising. The oceans are actually higher.
But we don't get lake effect from the ocean.
Yeah, but that's true. But we do if we get a nor'easter. Which I don't think they call it lake effect. But I mean, you have this St. Lawrence Seaway that just plows in or plows out. I don't really know where the water all goes. I do know the water does go down Niagara Falls, not up the falls.
Correct.
But I can tell you that watching this meteorologist the other day saying that if we ever get to the point where water is not aplenty in the Great Lakes, we're going to be the planet is in big trouble.
Gotcha.
So whether that comes from runoff in Canada, I don't know what the supply is of the Great Lakes, but it has basically an endless supply of water for us, which is why we always reference that where the water comes when we're doing things like Micron in Syracuse, where they say, believe me, up here we have plenty of water. Until I guess we don't.
Yeah, until
hopefully
we don't.
That never happens.
I just remember the story, the video a few years ago. Oh, boy, it was 10 years ago now, maybe even more. When Buffalo basically got snowed in, they got all that snow in that storm.
Remember, it was south. Actually, Buffalo didn't get any snow. It was just south of Buffalo, and they got like in the thruway. Remember, was completely plugged. 6, 7, 8 feet of snow. It was crazy.
See in the video of, I guess is that Lake Ontario right next to Buffalo?
Yeah. Lake Erie, right?
Is it Lake Erie? That's why I was asking about the source of the lake effect snow. Which lake? But anyway, you could see the I don't even know. You wouldn't say precipitation. You could see it rising off the lake, going up into the clouds, and then coming out as snow. Just adjacent to the water line, the shoreline.
Yeah. Well, I also think it's really kind of interesting when you go to Buffalo and you see the waters in the wintertime blowing off Lake Ontario and blowing up against these houses that are on the waterfront, and the houses are completely like gigantic icicles, completely covered in ice. It's really something to see. So you have on the south side of Buffalo, you have Lake Erie, and on the other side and to the north you have Lake Ontario. So the Great Lakes are plenty in western New York. Quick break, and Manansky has an update. We'll do Willie Waffle coming up in a second at WIBX.
Good morning. Mostly cloudy skies, 32 degrees, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 6:39. The New York State Thruway westbound is closed this hour between exits 32 and 33. There were reports this morning of a vehicle traveling in the wrong direction in the westbound lanes. Again, New York State Thruway between 32 and 33 westbound is closed this morning. Getting word here this morning, an official change has not yet been announced at City Hall. This coming from the mayor of the city of Utica. WIBX has learned that there was a bit of a shouting match at City Hall yesterday. And
So the mayor is responding?
He is responding to me, yes, as we speak.
We had a name, actually. We were given a name last night.
He said a new chief of staff has not been announced as of today, and this change has not been announced at City Hall. But WIBX has learned that...
Well, I got to tell you, anything like this travels like lightning.
Yes, it does.
So it's everywhere already.
Mayor Galimi's chief of staff, Mike Gentile, is no longer his chief of staff.
Has he confirmed? He has confirmed that.
He did not confirm that. He said this change has not been announced to City Hall. So,
okay, so the change that he's referencing is...
I guess so, yeah.
Is real, yeah.
I don't wonder if he's having a second
well,
thought on it.
I hate to say to the mayor that everybody, the minute someone finds out news like this, it travels very, very fast.
Yes, it absolutely does.
Well, maybe there's a change to the change. You never know.
Sorry, Bill, bear with me.
You
here.
never know.
Sorry, I was thrown there. I've lost my my headline sheet. Thursday Night Football last night, a game you heard right here on WIBX, as the Denver Broncos took down the Raiders 10-7.
That was a slow game.
It really was.
Yeah.
Kicking off Week 10 of the NFL season. We have a game from Berlin coming up this weekend. The Colts and Falcons face off in Germany on Sunday morning. We'll have that game for you as well. Our coverage of the game begins at 9:15 right here on WIBX. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 6:41. Here's your forecast.
After a wet weekend, it will get cold enough for some snow to mix in later on Monday. In the meantime, some gusty winds on this Friday with rain spreading in through the afternoon at a high 54. Cloudy with showers likely tonight and a low 43. Some more clouds into the weekend with periods of rain and high temperatures hitting the low 50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, mostly cloudy skies, 32 degrees at 6:42.
Coming up, we'll speak with Willie Waffle and get the... There's actually a series that I got to ask about that Mike is asking about this morning. And it's called Task Force on HBO. And he says he describes it as an amazing series. So we'll see if Willie has heard anything on that. And anything else, you have anything on your mind, on your list, let us know. 315-736-0186. We'll come back with Willie next at WIBX.
Are your windows old and tired? Hard to put up and down? Builder's grade windows just aren't made to last very long. Patriot Home Solutions is a different kind of window company. No games or gimmicks, no long drawn-out sales presentations, just high-quality, custom-fit windows at reasonable prices made right here in New York. And right now, you can get up to $2,000 off new windows from Patriot and NYSERDA. Plus, get an upgrade to triple pane windows for free. Minimum 3-window purchase. Most homeowners qualify for the savings. And income is not one of the requirements. So write this number down, 315-401-0440. That's 401-0440. Patriot Home Solutions will tell you right over the phone if you qualify. Don't miss your chance to save up to $2,000 and get the triple pane upgrade free. Funds are limited, so call before they run out. Learn more at callpatriothomesolutions.com. That's callpatriothomesolutions.com.
Thanksgiving dinner is high stakes. One dried out turkey and the whole meal feels ruined. That's why I use the Chef IQ Sense wireless cooking thermometer. The USDA says turkey needs to hit 165 degrees Fahrenheit to be safe. Your eyes can't always tell. Chef IQ ensures you hit that perfect temp every time. Whether roasting, grilling, pan-searing, or smoking, it's got you covered. Just insert the sensor, tell the app what you're cooking, and relax. It alerts you when to flip, remove from heat, and even how long to let it rest. It's like having a personal chef watching the stove while you enjoy time with guests. No more oven peeking, no more dried out turkey, just perfectly cooked meals. And it's not just for turkey, steaks, chicken, fish, you name it. You'll wonder how you ever cooked without it. Plus, it's the ultimate gift, perfect for seasoned chefs or kitchen rookies. Get 20% off site-wide at chefiq.com. Use promo code USA. That's chefiq.com, promo code USA.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton. Life can be tough, full of judgment and negativity, but for 30 minutes a day, you can forget all that and focus on yourself. Just like one of our members, Irene, who mentions that everyone's cheering for each other, pushing through the sweat, the tough moments, and even the stuff that feels a little sucky. Irene also mentions finding the strength, the confidence, and a real fitness family here is outstanding. Come join us, embrace the challenge, and find your fitness home at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
Some firsts you'd like to leave in the rearview mirror. Other firsts are life-changing. 90 years ago, Nokian tires changed driving with our first, the invention of the winter tire. Today, we're still the leader in winter driving with more than 100 patents and 200 days of testing in the Arctic every year. Winter is our first love. Make winter safety your first priority. Nokian tires. First things first. Visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tolmanstire.com.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, good morning. It's Friday morning. Willie Waffle coming right up. Manaski. Good morning.
Good morning. So to update that story, when we're learning about what's going on in the city of Utica with the shakeup in the administration, Lance and Lee chiming in this morning. He says, I believe I told you guys early yesterday morning, there was an atmosphere at Utica City Hall that was like a funeral home. And he did send us that.
Yes, he did. Which now, my head's going spinning now. Like, how close to Utica City Hall is this, quote, Lance and Lee? Makes me wonder. And again, we spend all of our time trying to figure out who he is.
Well, I wouldn't say we spend all of our time.
All of our time, Jeff. All of our time.
It's my new hobby. Trying to figure out why Comptroller Bill Morehouse renamed himself Lance. No, I'm only kidding. That's a joke.
Wayne this morning does the Great Lakes do the Great Lakes? Are they fed by the ocean? And I think I was confusing. I believe the Hudson is that area around Manhattan is the only area where you have or one of the areas. I really don't know. But it's one of those little pieces of information you pick up along the way that has saltwater and freshwater down in there because obviously it's right there on the coast. The Great Lakes are situated higher, and the Great Lakes actually feed the St. Lawrence. There is no salt water in the Great Lakes because, well, I should not say that. There is salt water in the Great Lakes. I'll explain. There is no salt water in the Great Lakes from the ocean because it is higher, and the Great Lakes actually feed in to the Atlantic. So then how could there be salt in the Great Lakes? It's the one big problem that you have environmentalists talking about is road salt becoming a real problem in our lakes and streams, and certainly the Great Lakes are enormous, but still, if there's any salt in the Great Lakes, it's probably coming from road salt, or the stuff they throw on houses to get the ice off the houses, the side of the house.
It's hard to believe that would be that much of an impact on bodies of water that are so large.
Think about, and I don't believe that it has that much of an impact on the Great Lakes. I'm just saying some of it has to go in, right? And it probably, because it's so large, doesn't have an effect like it does in small lakes and streams where the salt kills the fish. It is a problem, and there is a group out there trying to prevent us from using salt on roads. I don't know. I want to save the fish, but I'd like to save myself from crashing into another vehicle, too, while driving down the highway in the wintertime. Here's Willie Waffle.
Just one more thing. Can I put a bow on this? I'm told we will talk to Mayor Galimi or Galeem, as some call him, on Monday morning show.
All right, well, I won't be here, so I'm going to have to listen to that.
Oh, you won't?
Yeah, so that'll be a Manaski lead on Monday morning.
I forgot about that.
On the line right now, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mr. I Know Everything. Well, because he does. Willie Waffle, good morning.
Well, there's no pressure there. Oh, yeah, I got to know everything now. Sure.
I just, in the middle of saying that, I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like a compliment. That sounds like something you'd say to somebody with sarcasm. Here's the guy who knows everything.
It's a threat.
Last week he told me the new, I don't know, whatever movie, the Bob Dylan movie or the Springsteen movie was good. I watched it. It was trash.
It's a threat. That's hilarious.
Well, there you go. Being that you know everything, we should have had you on the line when we're trying to figure out where the water from the Great Lakes comes from. But
wasn't it? Okay. So if I remember anything about history, wasn't it like the settling of the ice age in those areas, and that water melted into that area and formed the Great Lakes? Does somebody who knows science know if I'm completely off base or correct?
I would probably think I wouldn't disagree with you. I have no idea, but I wouldn't disagree with you.
The Great Lakes formed primarily from the movement of massive glaciers during the last ice age, which carved out basins and pre-existing river valleys.
Once again, Willie Waffle.
I don't know everything, but
Yes.
I know a lot.
Actually, it was those glaciers that also created our Mohawk Valley, which ultimately created 500 and some odd million years ago the Herkimer Diamond. I only know that because I just read the script. Okay, Willie, good morning. What do we... first of all, I have Mike this morning asking, before Willie gets started, please ask him if he has seen the series, and it's on HBO, called Task Force. He says it's amazing.
I have not seen this. I got to check this out. What did he say anything about like what it's about or why I should be excited for it?
Yes. You should be excited because it's amazing, and it's about a task force.
Nice.
That's all. That's really all I have on it. But
and this is the challenge these days. There's so much stuff out there. Nobody can see everything. I think anybody who tells you they're seeing everything is lying. I'm not gonna. I'm going there.
They're probably watching a lot of garbage, to be honest with you. And I have to say, it was never like this before. You always had the movie. I mean, you just knew what was coming out, when it was coming out, and now you have all of these networks. And I mean, the fight. It is amazing that there's so many options, but sometimes it's a hindrance that there are so many options.
Oh yeah, there's too many, and this is a result of the splintering of the audience. Everybody is finding their niche, and people are selling to the niche. I mean, like, here's a great example. There's a show that I've been dying to see on Netflix. It just started yesterday. I haven't even got a chance to see it. It's called Death by Lightning. It's a multi-episode series. It is about the assassination of President Garfield, and it's based on a book that I read that is absolutely fascinating, and it is about both the assassin Charles Guiteau and what was kind of motivating him and what his life was like, and President Garfield. And anybody who knows the story knows that the tragic part of all this is that Garfield didn't have to die, that it was because of blatant medical malpractice that the president died a slow, painful death at the White House. And the book is fascinating if you ever get a chance to read it. Yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to the series because it's got like all the actors I like who are not big stars. Michael Shannon, the guy who plays Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, and I'm blanking on his name now. I'm really ashamed of that. I mean,
I
they've
can't
got
remember
a
his name.
great cast. Yeah, they have a great cast. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
and
that'll be.
I'm trying to see it this weekend.
That's one of those that you would, you Lincoln and Washington and Kennedy and Reagan and Garfield.
Garfield.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't president for very long because of the assassination. Yeah.
So very interesting, and I think about that often, about timing. Timing is everything. I mean, listen, if in the 1950s you came down with a cancer, chances are you were going to die. If in the 1980s you contracted AIDS, you were going to die. However, as time went on, we came up with a medicine. The same thing with cancer. Today, cancers that used to kill are manageable today, or treatable and curable. So really, it's about timing. If he were to live today, he'd be alive. He wouldn't have died from this.
Yeah, he would have been fine. They would have had a quick surgery, and he would have gone on with life. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's sad.
Timing. Okay, I am looking at for Netflix. I'm looking at a series called Frankenstein.
So this is a movie. This is a full movie, and this is from Guillermo del Toro, the master of the macabre, the man who knows how to make a dark gothic movie. And boy, picking Frankenstein is just the right move. Now, this is not going to be like the Frankenstein, the horror movie Frankenstein.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he does not look like Frankenstein. So
no, he's not the monster. He's not the monster here. But they make it almost a little bit more like a sci-fi movie. So you've got Oscar Isaac, who I really like, as Victor Frankenstein, right? Because everybody remember, Frankenstein's not the name of the monster; it's the scientist. And he wants to create life. He wants to he has this mad plan to be the most famous scientist ever by basically creating a human being. And once he finally does it, and once he's successful, this creature played by Jacob Elordi starts to want a little bit more out of life than being treated like some beast, some monster. He's developing, he has feelings, he wants to have something to look forward to, and you have this battle between Victor Frankenstein and the creature that's going to play out throughout the movie. And it looks so good. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, if there's one thing he does, he makes scary, ugly movies look so beautiful. I mean, you just feel like you're in that room where they're creating everything. You feel like you're walking down those dark, dank streets. There's something really just aesthetically wonderful about it. And then you throw in there, like I said, I like Oscar Isaac. I like him as kind of this almost hammy, kind of over the top kind of madman who's getting angrier and angrier as things go on. He's obsessed with his pursuit. And then Elordi surprised me because I've always just kind of seen him as this good-looking kid with the good hair product, right?
Right.
And he creates the creature to be so much more complex. Kind of these equal parts, kind of scary, but also a little naive. Because let's face it, he's only been around a few days, right? So I'm going to go 3.5 waffles.
Wow!
I think it's really good.
Very interesting. And the other one I wanna see is, and this is going to be something, The Making of the Great Lakes. It's apparently an entire. No, kidding. Nuremberg. I want to see Nuremberg, and I hope this is. It's these epic moments in history. I feel like this is going to be really good. This is in theaters, right?
Yeah, this is in theaters, so it's Oscar time because the movies are getting longer, right? The movies are getting darker, and Sydney Sweeney's in a movie where she looks kind of ugly. They're all trying to win Oscars, all right? Yeah. And that's what's going on in Nuremberg. You got Rami Malek. He's playing the psychiatrist. This is a real story. He's a psychiatrist who had to determine if the war criminals, the Nazi war criminals, were able to or fit to stand trial, were they mentally competent to stand trial at the Nuremberg trials. And this is the story of kind of his discussions and his investigation of Hermann Goring, played by Russell Crowe. And so the movie is really about the give and take between the two of them, the cat and mouse game that's going on, the fight for power, who's smarter than the other one, that kind of thing. And that part is interesting. And then they try to highlight, I think, a lot of other secondary characters that just aren't as important to the story and really kind of feel like filler and make it go 2.5 hours because we want to feel like an Oscar movie.
Yeah.
I'm at 2.5 waffles. I think it's solid because of Malik and because of Crow. And Crow, when we talk about a guy who gets to be a little bit of a hammy actor, there's your guy.
Yeah, I think that's true. And so maybe I'll wait to see this when it streams, which, will be coming before you know it. November 3rd.
6 weeks. Yeah.
November 13th is the deadline for Oscar submissions that you were talking about. And then quickly, Predator Badlands. What do you think?
Yeah, Predator Badlands. So this is a different Predator than any Predator movie that you've seen before, okay? So this is a young Predator. He's not the strongest Predator. He's not the best hunting Predator. He's kind of the outcast of the family. And they've sent him off to the most dangerous planet in the universe where everything on there, every plant, every animal wants to kill you. It's like Australia. And now he wants to prove himself by going after the strongest, most dangerous animal known to man. And he makes a friend along the way. And that's the kind of interesting thing. It's almost like a more humane Predator. I'm at 2.5 waffles.
Right.
I think you still get your action. You still get all your goriness, but there's a little bit more of a humane story going on, too.
All right, interesting stuff. So a lot of content. It's going to be rainy and cold this weekend, maybe a little sun, maybe a little rain. Good time to either go to the theater or do it from home. Willie, have a great rest of the week and the weekend. We'll talk again next week.
All right, talk to you then.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
You may need more than patience to fly today. CJ Pop of Fox News. There's no choice for the airlines today, canceling a large number of flights while delays are quickly piling up this morning. And it's all collateral damage from the government shutdown, which reaches day 38.
Right now, the only people to blame are the Democrats who refuse to pass the CR bill that they've already passed several times.
A man in Charlotte, the airport, North Carolina. Fox's Christina Coleman.
Flights will be cut at various airports nationwide due to staffing shortages because of the government shutdown. Now, thousands of air traffic controllers have gone weeks without pay, and many of them are calling off of work, triggering these staffing shortages at many airports as these employees deal with increased stress and financial pressure. And the FAA says this past weekend there were at least 2,740 delays at various airports, in large part due to the staffing shortages. And now passengers are worried about the flight cuts.
Captain James Ambrosi, president of the Airline Pilots Association, telling Fox,
"We call is on airline pilots to reopen the government. Let's not make aviation suffer because of a prolonged government shutdown."
And could that call to reopen the government be answered today?
Senate Republicans are aiming for a test vote on a new spending package that would include long-term funding for the Department of Agriculture, the legislative branch, and the military until next fall. It would also include a promise for a vote on Obamacare subsidies. The deal's fate hinges on Democrats, though. Many want the government to reopen, but progressives are refusing to budge without a firm health care deal, warning moderates not to cave. Vice President J.D. Vance saying in part, the shutdown has now passed from farce into tragedy, and the consequences of this national emergency fall on every senator and congressman who refuses to open the government.
Fox and Beto Rivera, America's listening to Fox News.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes. Heroes like Josh Bischoff. Josh began his firefighting career as a volunteer and ultimately became CAL FIRE's Assistant Chief of Tactical Air Operations until tragedy struck and he was killed in a helicopter collision while fighting a California wildfire. He leaves behind his wife Cheryl and their 2 children, Derek and Juliana. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation paid the Bischoff family's mortgage. Support heroes like Josh and their families. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Another leader of NATO, a nation, arrives at the White House this morning. But unlike the others, the meeting with the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, could get sticky when it comes to any discussion over who supplies that nation its energy. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has the story.
Viktor Orban is expected to try and persuade President Trump to exempt Hungary from U.S. sanctions targeting Russian oil. Last week, the Trump administration announced sanctions against 2 of Russia's major state-affiliated oil firms. It's a move that could result in secondary sanctions for buyers, which includes countries like China, India, and Central Europe. Orban made comments to state radio last week saying he would, quote, try to make the Americans understand that Hungary needs a carve-out from oil buying because the landlocked country has no other alternatives than to buy Russian crude, a claim critics dispute. Trump and Orban have a personal relationship, and this is their first meeting since Trump took office in January. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Russia saying today it wants U.S. to clarify remarks by President Trump about the possible resumption of nuclear testing, suggesting it would lead to a serious response from other nations. It's not clear whether the president was referring to nuclear explosive testing. A new nation joins the Abraham Accords. That coming from President Trump. Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
While hosting leaders of 5 Central Asian countries, President Trump says Kazakhstan is joining the Abraham Accords to strengthen its relationship with Israel.
It's a great expansion, and these are very substantial countries, so we consider that a great honor.
Kazakhstan has long had diplomatic relations with Israel, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio says joining the accords is about more than just that.
We're now creating a partnership that brings special and unique economic development on all sorts of issues.
The president expects other Central Asian nations to join the Abraham Accords soon. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
I'm CJ Papa, and this is Fox.
Good morning. We have mostly cloudy skies, 33 degrees, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The New York State Thruway between exits 32 and 33 westbound is closed to traffic this morning. There were reports at around 3 a.m. of a vehicle traveling in the wrong direction on the State Thruway. And now there are reports that there was a serious crash, and it is believed that one person was killed in that accident. There are reports of multiple injuries and possibly one fatality. A New York State Thruway detour has been set up as state police investigate the incident. Authorities say there were also helicopters on scene transporting some of the victims away from the crash site. Again, westbound between exits 32 and 33 in the city on the New York State Thruway is closed this hour. WKTV reporting the Central New York War Monument on Utica's Memorial Parkway has been damaged. City officials are not sure how the structure became damaged, but the statue is made from fiberglass and can be easily damaged. Green Utica contacted the original artist, who says the sculpture is beyond repair, so a new one will have to be built. The estimated total cost of the project is around $16,000. AmeriQ Federal Credit Union has stepped up to sponsor the first $5,000. And Burdick Memorial will be doing restoration work to build a new structure out of granite and stone. And a big story this morning out of City Hall in Utica. It involves the administration. WIBX 950 has learned that Chief of Staff Mike Gentile is no longer the Chief of Staff in the city of Utica. We've reached out to Mayor Mike Galimi. He will join us on the program Monday morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is coming up on 7:08. Your Weather Center forecast is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
After a wet weekend, it will get cold enough for some snow to mix in later on Monday. In the meantime, some gusty winds on this Friday with rain spreading in through the afternoon at a high of 54. Cloudy with showers likely tonight and a low of 43. Some more clouds into the weekend with periods of rain and high temperatures hitting the low 50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies and 33 degrees at 7:08. All right, from the IBEW 43 local sports desk, Week 10 of the NFL season kicked off last night. A bit of a flat game. 10-7 was your final as the Broncos held off the Raiders in Denver. This Sunday's slate includes a showdown with an international game in Germany. From Berlin, the Colts and Falcons will square off. Indianapolis enters the game at 7-2. Atlanta is 3-5 so far this season. Don't forget the Colts are 1-1 in international games, including a win over the Patriots in Berlin in 2023, and they have ex-Jet Sauce Gardner on their team now this weekend as well. A rematch of the Division III Hockey National Championship game from last year sees the Utica Pioneers coming up short. They lost to Hobart last night at the Adirondack Bank Center. 6-5 was the final there. The two teams will rematch on Saturday at Hobart. Tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center, the Utica Comets host the Belleville Senators as Utica looks to build off its first victory of the season. A former NBA coach and player pleading not guilty for his alleged involvement in the NBA betting scandal. Former Cavaliers player and Lakers assistant Damon Jones entered a plea at a New York City federal courthouse yesterday, accused of sharing inside information about Lakers players with bettors. Jones said he understood the charges and bail condition, with his parents using their home as collateral for a $200,000 bond. The DOJ says Jones sent a text to a gambler that read, quote, "Get a big bet in on Milwaukee tonight before the information is out. Bet enough so that D. Jones can eat." D. Jones being a reference to himself. Jones was charged last month along with Miami Heat player Terry Rozier in the NBA betting scheme. Meanwhile, Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups arrested in the same FBI sting in connection with a poker scheme involving the New York mob.
Wow. I just think this is going to end up being bigger than it is right now. It could very well, once they start investigating, testifying, etc., I do think it's going to affect more and more people.
There's a couple of things here. One being that obviously it undermines the integrity of a sport, which is suicide for any sport.
Yeah.
If people think the outcome is rigged or fixed,
changes everything.
Nobody wants to sit and watch that game unless you're on the inside, you have the info and you've bet on it, and you think you're going to get the money. The second thing is, I'm not sure because I'm not a huge MMA guy, and I don't think you are either. But the UFC is dealing with its own betting scandal. They had a fighter who was favored to win, and there were a significant amount of bets that were put in for him to lose. And I don't know if it was specific to the first round that he would lose. And this was in advance of the fight. So Dana White and I believe authorities reached out to this fighter in his camp and said, "What's going on here? Are you being threatened? Are you in on something?" The guy denied it repeatedly, said it was gonna be a clean fight, and then he got tapped out on a questionable chokehold in the first round. So there is an FBI investigation underway into a possibly fixed fight in the UFC.
So UFC is not. You won't find that on, at least in New York State. You won't find that on any of the apps.
Oh, is that right?
And I think it's overseas gambling. You can look that up.
Because I know a lot of people who bet on MMA.
Well, remember, before legalized gambling, there was gambling.
Yeah.
So, and I think you may be able to bet there.
I got UFC here on. I got UFC on. What do I have? DraftKings.
Oh, really? It is?
Yeah.
I thought they didn't allow UFC. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm mixing it up with? I'm sorry.
Method of
they do. No, is World Series of Poker. I was looking because of that kid from Little Falls. I was looking to. Now we know he's gambling. Because that's where but you can't gamble on that. UFC you can. So, boy, that was stupid.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. You can't bet. They don't allow you to bet on football. You can't bet on football.
Can't do it.
There's none of it.
Not allowed.
Okay. I have, sorry. It's been a moment. It's only been an hour. We've only been on for an hour, and it's already been a day and a half. Okay, we have coming up, Keith Scheibel is an Oneida County legislator, and is really taking I would say an aggressive approach at what is being labeled the wrongdoings of Ken Rozier, the chairman of the Oneida County Republican Party. This coming off a not so successful election night. And we'll speak with Mr. Scheibel coming up, and he'll explain what it is that he's contesting and why he thinks that Rozier should step down or be removed by the state Republican chair. We'll get into it coming up next, right after I place my bet on tonight's MMA action.
28 years ago, Lori Potasowicz had a dream. With a natural love for pets, she wanted to become an expert groomer. So she set out to become the area's only nationally certified master groomer and launched her business, one paw at a time. With grooming expertise and a lot of loving care, Lori and her talented team began caring for pets one paw at a time. Cuts, shampoos, and styling, one paw at a time. Teeth and nails with no detail overlooked from head to toe, one paw at a time. Getting to know each and every dog and cat by name, the One Paw at a Time family grew, and Lori had a decision to make. Keep expanding? She followed her heart and decided to keep the One Paw family atmosphere just the way it is, so she can keep taking care of the pets she knows and loves, one paw at a time. Lori and her team want to thank the families they serve for putting their trust in them to care for their four-legged family members, one paw at a time. 320 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro near Woods Road. One Paw appreciates your understanding for their current waiting list for new customers.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Fill your holiday spirit to the max as the historic Rome Capitol Theater presents It's a Wonderful Life. The perennial holiday favorite returns in all its restored 35mm film glory. Catch 3 showings, Friday, December 19th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, December 20th at 2:30 and 7 p.m. Tickets are $8 for adults, $7 for seniors, students, and veterans, $6 for Capitol Friends, and $4 for children 12 and under. For complete info, visit RomeCapitol.com.
Mattress Express's legendary Thanksgiving night sale is on 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thanksgiving night only. Take your pick. A $1,500 prepaid Visa card, a massage chair, or a 100-inch TV. Thanksgiving night only. All staff working voluntarily.
Some firsts you'd like to leave in the rearview mirror. Other firsts are life-changing. 90 years ago, Nokian tires changed driving with our first, the invention of the winter tire. Today, we're still the leader in winter driving with more than 100 patents and 200 days of testing in the Arctic every year. Winter is our first love. Make winter safety your first priority. Nokian tires. First things first. Visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tolmanstire.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Hey, Central New York, this is Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, and you can now hear my show every weekday at WIBX. I do things a little differently when I'm behind the microphone because I turn it over to the listeners to learn and really dig into the issues that impact everyday Americans. The Will Kane Show lets you keep ahead of the headlines and understand what's really going on in the world with in-depth discussions from leading experts and the brightest minds. From politics to sports, nothing is off topic. Listen to The Will Kane Show weekdays at 6, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, good morning, and in studio right now is Keith Scheibels. Keith is a former teacher, agriculture teacher at VVS. He is a now a longtime legislator with the Board of Legislators in Oneida County, and is with us now on in the studio, actually. Good morning, Keith. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. And, Bill, I have to correct you right out of the gate here. It's Sheeble, long E, like a female bull. So I know at one time you had people in the studio that mispronounced Tony Passanti, and that's going back a couple years. So I'll just correct you. It's Sheeble, long E.
And I certainly apologize.
That's all right.
Just start calling me Keller. I get it all the time.
That's all right.
Okay, so you have a real issue with the way Ken Rozier is running the Oneida County Committee, Republican Committee.
Yeah, so if we step back a little bit in history here, I've been involved with the committee for 10 years. I got a partner at home that she's chair of the town committee and was secretary of the county committee. So we were engaged and involved for quite a while. And a year ago at this time, the committee flipped. We had new chairman come on, and we were pessimistically optimistic of is this going to work out or not. And then over time, especially the last 3 meetings, there's some serious concerns of how our meetings are being conducted and what our future's like. So
wouldn't you say you should have had a clue at the way that he actually won the chairmanship?
Absolutely, and that goes back to, very few people understand how our committee actually functions, and people have to petition to get onto that committee. And if there's vacancies, you can appoint, but that appointment should come from the local chairs. I'm obviously town of Vernon, so the town chair should appoint the replacements, not necessarily the hand-picked people out of the county chair.
Yeah. Okay, your issues. Let's talk about...
Can I highlight this letter? Yeah. You sent a letter to...
State
Chair Ed Cox, and to the, I guess, the election co-chairs. Do I have that correct?
Co-chairs and commissioners of New York State Board of Elections.
You use words like exploitation and abuse against committee members, divisive action and detrimental leadership, demonstrating a gross inability to conduct committee meetings. Atrocities have occurred, abysmal understanding of the purpose of rules. And then you go on to say here, as an example, the new bylaws proposed at this meeting call for the total elimination of any rules for meeting conduct, including eliminating all use of Robert's rules and order and related parliamentary procedure. The action is totally absurd. The newly proposed bylaws go on to state that no subdivision, i.e. town districts or city wards, can create their own bylaws. That sounds like a complete takeover of the local party.
That's exactly right. And if you look at it and back up, and just for the listeners out there, parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rules gives you a platform to run a meeting. If you're in a community and involved in anything, you're in a Little League committee meeting, you're at a church meeting, you're at a Farm Bureau meeting, certainly the government agencies all use this form of conducting a meeting. And unfortunately,
one might even say it's a given.
It's absolutely. And 4 basic principles: parliamentary procedure, courtesy to everyone. Right. So nobody's jumping over each other, one thing at a time. You're talking about one issue, not multiple. But then the last two are key. The rights of the minority. If you're in that committee, you can voice your opinion. And there's a whole set of rules on how that is done. And you can't violate somebody's ability to speak publicly in that meeting and voice their opinion. That's how people are in a debate, or how they're swayed. And then obviously the last one is rule of majority, that a majority rules. That most people understand that, but they don't recognize when you step on people's ability to voice their opinion. And that's what's been going on, Jeff, is that the opposition, so to speak, they're looked at as opposition, are totally shut down.
We had there at one point police were called, removing someone from, and we actually had that young man here on the radio
were
talk
you
about
at that meeting?
Absolutely.
So it seems alarming to me that I could understand somebody creating a disturbance at a meeting, and if I were to say, okay, Keith, you've already been recognized, and I know you were not the one, but Keith, you've already been recognized, you had your say, that's enough, we're going to move on now. But somebody requesting to speak? The police were called on him? What was your take on what happened at this meeting?
So again, you got to come back to parliamentary procedure. And if there's something out of order, if the chairman makes a authoritative move that goes against the body, you can challenge that. And there's several ways. One is I rise to a point of order. You didn't get a second on a motion. You can't start debating a motion unless two people agree, hey, we want to talk about it. So that is a procedural thing. So I can say I rise to a point of order. This motion didn't get a second. The chair should respond, point well taken. Is there a second to the motion? Now we can debate it. The young man you're referring to was saying, I appeal the decision of the chair. That motion means the chair arbitrarily made his own decision. We're going to stop talking about this and vote now. That's not the way you conduct a meeting. The meeting is the voice of the body, not the voice of the chair. So he was totally within his realm as a member of that committee saying, I'm calling for an appeal of the chair, which means the body has to vote on whether we agree with the chair. If the body voted and said, yeah, we're ending the debate, and ironically, there's a motion out there to end the debate. I call question. That means I want to vote, we end the debate. Or I can limit debate by saying, I move to limit debate to 10 more minutes. I move to limit debate to 2 more speakers, whatever it is. But that's a decision from the body, not the decision of the chair.
You referenced atrocities and those possible that could still be coming forward or exposed. And these are procedural, and I think for the average person who isn't involved in a meeting, isn't familiar with Robert's rules, it may be a bit in the weeds for the average person.
Yeah.
But what are the atrocities? Are there illegalities?
I'm not real versed in that, Bill, to know the legal standpoint of things. I just raise it from the standpoint of conducting a meeting and leading our organization, that the path we're in right now. And Jeff, you asked me, did I attend that meeting? I've actually been to every meeting. The last 3 meetings, here's been our agenda. We post an agenda late. We send out the night before a 53-page document that says we're going to kick somebody off the committee. We spend $10,000 on lawyer's fee that the chairman made the sole decision. We're going down this pathway to get rid of a member. The second meeting in the summer is we're going to rewrite the bylaws, and how that was conducted and how we reached out to do that in itself was an atrocity. Because if you've been involved in an organization and there's a bylaw change, typically, here's the former bylaws, here's the changes. You don't make drastic, like it might be a few lines here or there. We adjusted the membership. We adjusted what officers there are. It's not drastic. This one was a total rewrite. In fact, it was difficult to get a copy of the bylaws we were operating under. And then when you look at that and say, okay, one of the bylaws in there, one of the things is, in order to vote at the meeting, you need a proxy vote, a signature. Somebody gives up their right and gives their vote to somebody else. That signature on a proxy had to be witnessed. And it was in our bylaws that say you have to have a signature witness.
Right.
The new bylaws totally eliminated that. So now fast forward, our last meeting that we entertained new rules where instead of parliamentary procedure that basically says the chair has all authority, and I'm summarizing there.
There's an executive,
a handpicked executive committee. But in that case, these proxy votes, the chairman had 89 proxy votes. That means 89 people signed over their vote, regardless of the discussion in the meeting, and he had the authority to vote on their behalf. And I just feel that's wrong. Our committee right now is disheveled. Hopefully before we leave today or at another time, how do we right the ship? What do we got to do in the county to put the Republican Party back on solid ground and move it forward the way we need to?
Well, how's that going to be done? How can it be done?
It's got to start, Bill, from grassroots of people. This is an example of come out and voice it. Hey, make people aware of what's going on. People that are sitting on the sideline, hey, how do I get involved? And it starts by in your own community, each voting ward or district has 2 representatives county committee, so 384 people countywide. We need to fill those seats with people that want to be engaged. And the way they get on the committee, they carry the petition here in February, March, when the petition time, and petition to get onto the committee. That really is going to be our next step. There's some screenings that'll happen probably January, but again, you're going to see the candidates in January get screened for next year's election. And as you mentioned, as a county legislator, of course, I'm up. This is a 1-year term, not a 2-year term. So we'll be up carrying those petitions and carry a petition to get onto the committee.
I'll just throw this in and then let Jeff has some stuff. If you disagree, the executive committee could ultimately just remove you and kick you off the committee.
Absolutely, and
under these new rules.
Under the new rules. So, and picture this. So we just had a meeting. And Tony Pacini might talk our budget deliberations the other night. So after about a 30-minute with different amendments, any new business, a new amendment came to the floor. We spent 20 minutes on that one new amendment, the debate. So, and again, there was only the Ways and Means Committee, but we opened it to a couple other legislators. So about 15 people that could debate. But again, you would say something and then counter and say, okay, I agree with that, but how about this? And so we come to some kind of consensus. When you take a committee that has, in theory, 380 people, now in person, Jeff, the only ones there, there's been in that range of maybe 75 to 100 in-person people. But then all these proxies to get to a majority of the committee and then the majority of the vote. But when you look at it, this wielding of a committee, you can't shut debate down on a major decision issue. In fact, at that last meeting, one of my colleagues on the committee said, well, I don't really agree with the new bylaws. Can we make an amendment? And the reaction of the chair was, no, we'll do that at another time. Well, when's another time?
Right.
Another time is a meeting in January.
Yeah.
And then you won't entertain it now when we're talking about adopting the bylaws, adopt it with the amendment. And the amendment bill was, instead of the executive committee agreeing with the chair, that it comes back to the full body for a vote.
The majority. Speaking with Keith Schiebel, Oneida County legislator, big challenges to the current chair of the Oneida County Republican Party, and Manaski.
So Lance here commenting, he said, it sounds like sour grapes. Were you in support? Did you back Sobel in the previous vote? And were you supportive?
Sobel wasn't. He wasn't. It was
Mary Pratt.
Mary Pratt. So Sobel stepped down.
I guess so. Let me ask it this way: were you supportive of the change in leadership to Mr. Rozier?
No.
Where is? I want to go back to was he elected by proxy votes? Is that what happened? When you talk about witnessing a signature, I want to get into whether or not you're alleging that there was. I can understand the need to justify and verify when you have the signature for proxies that you want to have it witnessed. But was there a situation that arose? I can understand the need to want to verify that. But to have it witnessed, was there a situation that arose where names were appearing and you thought maybe it was forged on there, that the proxy wasn't actually given the power to vote for somebody else?
I don't think you're challenging the fact that he became chairman.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, and go back to that, and you asked multiple questions there, Jeff,
yes,
of when that vote changed. And again, my wife and I have been very supportive of working with the county committee. She was secretary under Pete Sobel's leadership, and she actually chaired the meeting that the vote took place with Mary Pratt and Ken Rozier, Paulette as secretary because of Mary was vice chair at the time. She can't run it, so it fell to Paulette's responsibility. At that time, a new chair is voted in, the proxies are there, they're counted, etc. Where the issue of the signatures was the bylaw change at the September meeting. So the bylaws specifically say that the proxy has to be witnessed. And in fact, it's in state regulations too. With the assumed changes of eliminating the bylaws, that proxy for that meeting did not have the signature. So you're still under the old bylaws that say you have to have a signature, and now you're conducting a meeting, and all the proxies in that meeting did not have a line on the proxy that you would offer your witness signature.
Okay. Is there an effort to change leadership right now? Are enough members upset or concerned about this? Or are you in the minority with the issues you've raised?
When would that happen, by the way?
So the chairman is a 2-year term, and so that would be at the organizational meeting would be September, October 2026.
Okay.
So we're in the same leadership. However, between now and then, the membership could change. In fact, so there will probably be a county meeting sometime here in in January, that we'll screen for all the elected officials, be it the assembly, et cetera, the county races, whoever. And then after that, it'll open up to petitions to get back on the committee. Now, according to the bylaws, there's supposed to be quarterly meetings, but if you read the old ones, the quarterly meetings were to verify and update who the membership are.
So basically what's happening under the new bylaws, the committee, the face of the committee is going to be completely different. And when you come around to next fall for a committee vote, it's kind of I don't want to say the fix is on necessarily, but the committee may very well be placed into a position where, of course, Mr. Rozier will be reelected because he has basically crafted the look of and the members in the committee to be able to get reelected.
So what Jeff, I just passed to him, there's 26 town chairs and then the city wards, et cetera, for about 40 chairs of committees. Just easy math, each of those chairs represents about 10 delegates onto the county committee. So 392, 40 chairs, et cetera, you do the math there. So each of those chairs has a committee they operate. And if you look at the old bylaws, the intent was if there's a delegate representing City of Sherrill, that delegate should come somewhere from at least the town, because part of your role on the committee is you want to gain support for our candidates.
Right,
so you go out to your neighbors, et cetera. So the real rub is going to come on who gets petitioned. So Jeff has a copy. Those are our town and ward chairs. And out of that list, there's some that are very supportive of the current administration and will vote in essentially anything that is said. And then there's that undertow of us to say, hey, this isn't the way the democracy.
Yeah.
You might disagree with me, but you don't have the right to shut me down and not listen.
Right.
And if I prove you wrong or prove you, Bill, you're throwing out the terms, prove you unethical, illegal, those are terms that are pretty strong to use in a committee. If those things get voiced out there, then how do you defend your position of support for somebody who's conducting things that you would say that's pretty highly questionable?
Yeah.
And you and I have mentioned some of those, how the money gets spent. You spend $10,000 to kick somebody off a voluntary committee? Really?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't get it, unless you're trying to silence that opposition. Here's a way we shut that voice down. And that's kind of where we're at.
Some people have reported to us that it has been blatantly just spoken that if you're with Pacenti, you're against Rozier. Have you heard that?
Not in so many words. And again, I look at what's my motivation, Bill, and to come in and say, here we've got something happening in the county committee. If we don't straighten this out, then where are we going? And it's basically that authoritarian. You mentioned my background to start. I served on multiple teacher boards, state ed, agriculture, Department of Agriculture, markets statewide. So I've served. My entire career was working with people. The politics wasn't there because you're trying to champion an issue for kids and for students.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you look at, and when they say politics is dirty, oh boy, I guess people are serious.
The fact that it has been dirty, all of this chaos. First of all, we could go back to the Elise Stefanik debacle. She's still in Congress probably because of what happened here in Oneida County and a few other counties.
And really, I give credit to Joe Ruskowski that came in a week ago with you guys. And listening to him of saying, okay, Keith, it's time. Obviously, Jeff, you got the letters, so I took that behind the scenes. But now to go more public, and I'm sure my phone will probably ring. I'll probably get a few people saying on both sides, the positive and the negative. And my whole stance, Bill, is go ahead and argue your point, but I can turn around and say, you really want to operate under a system that you got 300 volunteers on a committee, and you can tell somebody if you speak again, I'm throwing you out?
Is that according to the bylaw, the state regulations, is that even something that can be done under the auspices of the New York State Republican Committee?
So as I read it, and it said that any subdivisional estate, which a county would be, can create their own rules. Now, we on the Board of Legislators, we have a document that's our rule book, but it goes beyond the common rule, Robert's Rules of Orders, to explain other things within the board. So I think the intent of the state is you have your basics of how you run a meeting, then where do you go from there?
And then finally, the Tuesday was election night. The results that came in some cases, were not so good for the Oneida County Republicans. Did this chaos contribute to that?
It very well could. I think in some cases we lost a focus. And the real purpose of the committee is to get good candidates. I'm blessed that my own people support me as a legislator, and then support them to get elected. And as you know, I ran uncontested. I look at that as a vote of confidence from those in my community that, hey, maybe I'm doing a good job up there and I deserve to be back in and represent them. Who's to say that? And the proof will be as we move forward. How do we strengthen where we are?
Anything else?
I do have a question on the proxy thing, but I'll skip it for now. Let's see. Anything Rozier, Fusco, and Zecca are involved in is dirty politics that doesn't help the party as a whole. That's from Bill in Deerfield. We just got hit with a flurry of messages here.
You got people going, Keith.
The executive committee, the previous executive committee supported this change to Mr. Rozier.
When you say I'm not sure where you're saying previous. What previous administration or executive committee?
The county committee's executive committee. Was there a turnover in that?
When the new administration come on, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
And my wife's a perfect example. She was, in fact, the treasurer had resigned just prior to that county meeting. Paulette was asked to pick up where she could of assembling all the treasury stuff, so she was actually in a dual role at that turnover.
That moment in Oneida County Republican Committee history was chaotic in itself. And the tactics that were used were non-traditional. I'll say that.
Those are both understatements, Bill.
Okay,
absolutely.
I realize that. So.
Rocky says, sounds like Rozier following in the footsteps of his hero, Donald Trump, tear down every remnant of democracy possible to enhance my personal power. I'm not stating that. I'm just reading this message.
Okay. We will talk to the county executive at 8:30 this morning. So, Keith, we appreciate it.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say one last thing. I was fresh off from last night's Patriot Awards. Unfortunately, our buddy Jimmy Fallon didn't recognize me or nominate me, so I just wanted to thank you guys in studio. It was nice to come in and chat.
We just so you know, February 7th, you will be able to confront Jimmy at the Rome Capitol Theater in person. If
I'll
you choose.
put it on my schedule.
All right, good deal. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Keith.
Quick break. Hobica's free money question of the day. I got to get a good, solid commercial break in here because we're over. Davey, caller 7 right now. A chance at $300 from WIBX and Hobica.
I always buy my emergency food from My Patriot Supply. Fair prices, fast shipping, quality food.
We love buying from My Patriot Supply. The products are fantastic and service is excellent.
My Patriot Supply is America's most trusted emergency food company, and right now they have a special offer for listeners of this station. It's called the Black Friday Survival Special, and it comes with a 4-week food supply, plus $150 worth of free gifts, including everything you need to prepare your emergency meals, like a cook stove, fuel, fire starters, even a water purifier, bug-out bag, and more. It's the complete survival kit your family needs to ride out natural disasters, civil unrest, or worse. And it makes a great Christmas gift, but it's only available through Black Friday. So head to mypatriotsupply.com to check out everything that's included. With all the uncertainty in the world, disaster preparedness is more important than ever. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and get prepared today. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Are your windows old and tired? Hard to put up and down? Builder's grade windows just aren't made to last very long. Patriot Home Solutions is a different kind of window company. No games or gimmicks, no long drawn-out sales presentations. Just high-quality, custom-fit windows at reasonable prices made right here in New York. And right now, you can get up to $2,000 off new windows from Patriot and NYSERDA. Plus, get an upgrade to triple-pane windows for free. Minimum 3-window purchase. Most homeowners qualify for the savings. And income is not one of the requirements. So write this number down, 315-401-0440. That's 401-0440. Patriot Home Solutions will tell you right over the phone if you qualify. Don't miss your chance to save up to $2,000 and get the triple pane upgrade free. Funds are limited, so call before they run out. Learn more at callpatriothomesolutions.com. That's callpatriothomesolutions.com.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, time for us. I got to squeeze a couple things in here before 8 o'clock. Kevin is standing by for Hobica's free money question of the day, and it comes from the Hobica Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobica at 315-724-1600. And for all of your legal needs, reach out to Hobica. 315-724-1600 is the number. Kevin in New Hartford, good morning. How are you?
Good. Good morning. Good. Doing good.
Are you ready for this? I know you are, but, I'll ask anyway.
Yeah.
He called us, so. Bill. We didn't call him.
Good point. It's a good point. Good point. It's worth $300. And you know the deal. You have 7 seconds. Get your answer in before the buzzer. And here we go. Here's your question. Before Central Park, Frederick Law Olmsted designed this upstate New York park. Which is it? Ready, go.
Albany Park in Albany, New York.
What is the most famous upstate New York park? Can you think of it without the pressure of the buzzer?
Oh, well, Adirondack Park, I would say then.
Even more famous than Adirondack.
Enchanted Forest Water Safari?
It's the Enchanted
Is
Forest.
It?
No.
Oh.
No, it's not. It's Niagara Falls.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's a park?
It's a national park. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when the shutdown. Like, you go there now, there will be things that aren't running right now because of the
Did they
shutdown.
turn off the falls?
I believe it's shut right off.
They turned it right off.
Okay.
Drought conditions.
Kevin, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Good at the Comets games, Nexus, the Adirondack Bank Center, Aquavino and Taylor and the Cook, Babes, and the list goes on. And we'll give you a 4-pack of tickets to the Turning Stones Christmas Crafts Show, November 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Okay.
That was a toughie. It was kind of one of those things that if you've heard that one, you knew it immediately. I guess I didn't realize I guess we did realize that Niagara Falls certainly came before Central Park. But the design of the park actually came before Central Park. So, all right, stand by. We'll hook you up with Davey in there, okay?
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, Kevin, thank you.
So you're saying like swing sets and stuff? A park at?
Have you been to Niagara Falls?
I have.
So there's infrastructure. I mean, and we always criticize, right? We criticize the Canadians' infrastructure at the falls is so much more impressive than. But you have the trails that lead to. You've got the remember those elevators that go down. Although that might be on the Canadian side. Where you're able to go way down inside all of that stuff was obviously man-made to create the park, and that's what that was by design. Frederick Law Olmsted. How much of all of that he did, I have no idea, but
gotcha.
He's the designer of that, and later on Central Park. By the way, Niagara Falls is the oldest national park in the United States, I believe. That one you can look up. Okay, I'm going to try to not butcher another name this morning. But Lung Cancer Screening Awareness Month is here in November. It's a very important thing that you should do. Catching these things early is a real game changer. The director of thoracic surgery at MVHS is Dr. Mark Cry. Did I get that right, Doc? Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Bill. Thanks.
Okay, so obviously, who should be tested? I mean, if you grew up with someone who smoked and you breathed in a lot of secondhand smoke, are you among the high risk people who should be tested?
So no, the people they've identified are anyone between the ages of 50 and 80, and they're either active smokers or quit within the last 15 years.
Okay.
And they smoked 20 pack years. And what that means is 1 pack a day for 20 years, 2 packs a day for 10 years, however you want to cut up the math. Those are the people that we've identified as the highest risk. These people have a significant benefit to getting screening. There's lots of other folks who, while they may be at a slight increased risk, say secondhand smoke exposure, firefighters, there's not the same benefit that you get from that group of people who we've identified.
We're going to come to you and ask you on this. Are you a 1-packer, a 2-packer? What are you per day?
I can't believe you asked me that. So it depends on what's going on. Doc, I'm sorry to even be talking about this. I know it's the worst thing I've ever done in my life. I can tell you when I was with FedEx and I was driving all day, I was smoking probably more than a pack. On a typical day now, I might only have 8 or 9. I mean,
listen, it's a tough thing to do. Most people started
early.
I see people 40, 50, 60 years ago they started, right, before they really knew better. And it's a very, very difficult thing to quit. And so, there are definitely a lot of resources available. Smoking cessation programs through New York State, our office, a lot of primary care doctors, everyone's happy to help you. It just takes, making that first step, making that decision to want to quit. Not only from the reduced risk of lung cancer, there's heart disease, there's other factors that go in. Plus, the state keeps making it more and more expensive every pack.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. You hear people who've, I quit smoking and we went to Disney or whatever, the money that can be ultimately saved on cigarettes. Do you, what is a screening for lung cancer?
Sure. So it's covered by insurances. So once a year, it's a low dose, lower dose of radiation. It's a CT scan of the chest. There's no IV contrast, so there's no IVs or anything like that. You meet with either your primary care doctor or you can reach out to our program, our lung cancer screening program. It doesn't involve having a conversation just about risks and benefits, those kind of things about it, and how we're going to interpret the images. The scan itself takes just a couple minutes, get you set up for an appointment, and then being able to see, hopefully there's nothing there. Even if there is something there, it doesn't necessarily mean it's cancer, but that's part of why we have that shared decision making to explain, like, we may find something, doesn't mean it's cancer, but means we might have to, kind of delve a little deeper into it.
And do you, I believe you are one of the physicians who uses the robotic surgery.
Correct. Yes. I've been here now 2.5 years. And, big part of why I wanted to come here was to be able to bring that robotic surgery, the minimally invasive surgery here to the Mohawk Valley. Being kind of from the area initially, really wanted to help kind of provide that kind of world-class care. And so we've done over 200 robotic cases since I've been here. And, people have had really great things to say. I've had very good experience, especially at the Wind Hospital. And, just happy to kind of bring a high quality level of care to this area, which, they deserve.
What early detection, are there numbers? It's easy for us to say, with Tim Reed and myself, we always talk with real men get tested for cancer.
Yep.
Men tend to be a little more stubborn than women, but we're always saying early detection saves lives. Are there numbers to back that up for lung cancer?
There are. So, the difference between early stage 1 lung cancer and a much more aggressive, say stage 3 or God forbid a metastatic disease, it's really a dramatic change. I think the numbers that are quoted in the studies is there's about a 20% mortality risk reduction. People who find their cancer from screening versus a lot of times when people come in to get scans, they're symptomatic. They're coming in, they're cough,
Okay, yeah.
They're having difficulty breathing, those kind of things. When you look at the overall 5-year survival, for stage 1, early stage 1 lung cancers, it can be over 90%. When you get into that stage 3, you're looking at 30%.
Wow.
And stage 4 is even worse. So that's why, I see people pretty much every week who we found something and they're like, I would have had no idea I had it. I'm not having pain, not having breathing issues, not making me cough. That's why it's so important to get these screening scans.
Yeah.
Same way, for the colonoscopy or the prostate or the breast exams.
Catch it early.
Mammography, got to catch it early.
Yeah.
If you wait till there's symptoms, the horse may not be completely out of the barn, but it's a whole different.
It's a different deal.
It's a game changer.
Dr. Mark Cry, this month is Lung Cancer Screening Awareness Month, and you're, I believe, accepting new patients. 315-801-8567 is the number over at Wynn. And Doc, we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Bill. I really appreciate it. Definitely get yourself screened. November Lung Cancer Awareness Month. It's the number one cause of cancer deaths in the country and in the world. So let's get after this.
Doc, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Dr. Mark Cry, we have news coming up top of the hour. Stand by for that. I have another little giveaway next hour. We'll get into it coming up here.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
All eyes on the skies. Gianna Gelosi, Fox News. Hundreds of flights are canceled across the country today as the FAA looks to ease strain on air traffic controllers as the government shutdown drags on.
The FAA has ordered airlines to reduce the number of flights by 4% starting today, ramping up to 10% next week at the nation's busiest airports, including Atlanta, Denver, Dallas, Orlando, Miami, and San Francisco. The National Air Traffic Controller Association President Nick Daniels says staffing issues are getting worse as they've now missed 2 paychecks and some workers are having trouble paying for gas, food, and childcare.
There was a trainee today that before I just left the office to come here said, I've been evicted.
United says some regional and domestic flights that do not fly between hubs will be impacted. Delta and American say they anticipate most travel will carry on as scheduled, but they will help schedule changes and offer refunds to those impacted. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The Senate likely takes a test vote on a new plan to end the 38-day shutdown today.
Republicans plan a test vote today with changes in spending bill details that could sway some Democratic support to reopen the federal government. A new bill is expected to propose funding the government into January. Others would provide money to operate the Department of Agriculture, the military and construction, and the legislative branch through the next fiscal year. Along with that, an added promise of a vote on subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, would be included. If every Senate Republican backs the measures, only 7 Democrats would need to cross over to reach the 60 votes needed for approval. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Meanwhile, a federal judge ordering the Trump administration Thursday to fund food stamps in full for roughly 42 million low-income Americans. But the Justice Department almost immediately told the court that it is going to appeal that ruling. America's listening to Fox News.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes. Heroes like Josh Bischoff. Josh began his firefighting career as a volunteer and ultimately became CAL FIRE's Assistant Chief of Tactical Air Operations until tragedy struck and he was killed in a helicopter collision while fighting a California wildfire. He leaves behind his wife Cheryl and their 2 children, Derek and Juliana. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation paid the Bischoff family's mortgage. Support heroes like Josh and their families. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Trump administration doubling down on their battle against cartels, striking another suspected drug boat in the Caribbean yesterday. U.S. forces conducting a lethal kinetic strike, killing 3 alleged narco-terrorists on board. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill,
a group of bipartisan senators is trying to prevent President Trump from pursuing his air campaign targeting alleged drug boats in South America. A Senate resolution seeks to force President Trump to get congressional approval for further airstrikes, known as authorization for the use of military force. Quote, to terminate the use of United States armed forces for hostilities within or against Venezuela unless explicitly authorized by a declaration of war. The Secretaries of State and War sought to reassure senators that the Trump team is on solid legal ground and isn't planning imminent land strikes inside Venezuela. The top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee, Senator Mark Warner, says President Biden missed a chance to force Maduro from power back in summer 2024.
And that's Fox's Jillian Turner at the State Department. Meanwhile, the Trump administration strikes a deal with drug makers to lower the cost of popular weight loss drugs.
Popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Zepbound are too pricey for many Americans. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz says.
Now, what are you supposed to do if the right thing to do for your health is right there, but you can't afford to get it?
Most favored nations agreements with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk will significantly bring down the cost of their GLP-1 drugs, capping copays for Medicare patients and reducing prices for insured and uninsured Americans.
Our estimate, based on the company numbers as well, is Americans will lose 135 billion pounds by the midterms.
That weight loss, Oz says, will bring down healthcare costs long term. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And President Trump is set to welcome Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban to the White House today as Orban looks to convince the U.S. to allow Hungary to keep buying Russian oil despite Trump's calls for a boycott. I'm Gianna Gelosi. This is Fox News.
We have a few clouds, 34 degrees. Good morning, I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. A serious car crash near Westmoreland, forcing traffic off of the thruway westbound between exits 32 and 33. New York State Police say the crash happened around 3 o'clock this morning, followed a report of a vehicle traveling in the wrong direction westbound on the thruway. Now, reports say that several people were injured in the accident. It's believed that one of the individuals may be deceased, and at least 3 helicopters were seen at the scene transporting victims away from that crash site. Again, westbound on the New York State Thruway between exits 32 and 33 is still closed at this hour. A shakeup at City Hall in the city of Utica. WIBX has learned of a change in leadership of the administration of Mayor Mike Galimi. Mike Gentile is out as Galimi's chief of staff. A reason for the change and a replacement have yet to be officially announced. New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik launching a run for governor, blaming Democrat Kathy Hochul for the state's high cost of living and tying the governor to New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. Stefanik making the announcement yesterday. She says there's no question New York is facing an affordability crisis. Stefanik launched a 2.5-minute video focusing largely on affordability. And while Stefanik is a staunch ally of President Trump, her campaign video does not make any references to President Donald Trump.
You know my opinion on this, and this is going to give Bill Morehouse a moment to be, because I remember in 2015 saying there's no way Donald Trump ever could be president. It'll never happen. And let's not say that I was alone in that. There was a time when Claudia Tenney was like saying terrible things about Donald Trump, and she was supporting somebody else back in 2015, along with Elise Stefanik. Also was a bit anti-Trump until they are no longer. But this will be a moment for Bill Morehouse. I don't see in any way possible that Elise Stefanik can win in a governor's race in New York with the current dynamic and the power of New York City Democrats. I just don't see it. And it's a huge loss for us to lose her representing, including Rome and Griffiths representing upstate New York. I think it's a bad decision, my opinion. So Morehouse will be able to come back and say, after she wins, and she's now Governor Stefanik, you know nothing. Look you said she could never be governor.
Finally here, according to Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mayshall, deputies were called to the area of Muck Road in the city of Rome for a reported individual suffering from a mental health crisis. There was a significant police presence on scene yesterday. Deputies located an unoccupied vehicle belonging to the individual parked on Muck Road. Deputies used the K-9 unit as well as the Rome Police drone unit to locate the individual, who was subsequently located and taken into custody under mental health laws here in New York without further incident, and that person was transported to a local hospital for an evaluation. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:09. Your forecast is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
After a wet weekend, it will get cold enough for some snow to mix in later on Monday. In the meantime, some gusty winds on this Friday with rain spreading in through the afternoon at a high of 54. Cloudy with showers likely tonight and a low of 43. Some more clouds into the weekend with periods of rain and high temperatures hitting the low 50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, a few clouds, 34 degrees at 8:09. In sports, Thursday night football kicked off Week 10 last night. The Broncos beat the Raiders 10-7 in what is being called a rock fight in Denver.
Well, it really was. You know, think about it. They go into halftime tied at 7 apiece, I believe, right? Or 14 apiece, 7 apiece.
No, it was only 10-7 was the final.
Okay, they go into halftime 7 apiece, and then only a field goal for a very boring second half.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Raiders got their touchdown like 2-3 minutes into the game. It was early.
Yeah.
I checked the score, to be honest with you, and never went back. Coming up this weekend, the NFL is once again across the pond. The Colts and Falcons will play in Germany on Sunday morning. We'll have that game for you right here on WIBX. Our coverage begins at 9:15. Indianapolis comes in at 7-2. The Falcons are 3-5. Don't forget, Indy has former Giants signal caller Danny Jones, and they just picked up Jets cornerback Sauce Gardner. Speaking of the Giants, they'll wear their vintage whites this weekend. The G-men are wearing their all-white Color Rush uniforms and the classic navy helmet when they visit the Chicago Bears on Sunday. Forget the vintage whites. I'll take a vintage win. Really appreciate that. The Giants come in at 2-7. The New York Jets have a new look after the departure of some stars at the trade deadline. They are 1-7, and they look for their second victory of the season as they host the Cleveland Browns on Sunday at MetLife Stadium. Unfortunately, the Utica University Pioneers off to an 0-3 start so far, a rematch of last year's D3 National Championship game going in favor of Hobart. 6-5 was your final at the Adirondack Bank Center last night. The Pioneers will travel. It was a good game.
A lot of offense.
Will travel to play at Hobart on Saturday tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center. The Utica Comets are home. They host the Belleville Senators. It is a 7 o'clock start. And our man Uncle Smitty with the details on Syracuse football and basketball.
Which do you want first?
Well, we got a 1 o'clock and a 3 o'clock, so let's start with basketball.
Delaware State ACC Network Extra.
And at 1 o'clock and at 3:30.
Yeah.
3:30 is the football game.
Do you agree with this, Bill, that he's throwing Ricky Collins into the Wolves?
I do. He's a true freshman, and what better way to get him experience?
Well, he's already...
Because you don't know what's going to happen going forward.
He's already played. It's Ricky Collins, the one that took over for Angeli.
I know that. I say put him in, let him go. And remember, you've got an offense that it was completely disheveled after this, and everything changes because his attributes are certainly different than Angeli's. And I think there was such a letdown. I say put him in, let him finish it up. What do you think they should do?
I agree with you. Put in Ricky Collins and just let him go Let the Wolves have them.
Yeah.
He's being thrown to the canines.
Oh, that was good.
Hurricanes.
That was very good. I feel a hurricane of quips.
And that game is at 3:30 on ESPN.
All right. Scott Hall. Scott in Kirkville is coming up.
Scott Hall. Razor Ramon.
River Hills Properties and the service they provide. We have first-hand experience. We sold our home. River Hills was the listing agent, and it's like we were able to just follow the advice, and the stress level just dissipated because we had a team working for us, and that's what you get with River Hills. We loved the fact that our house was only being shown when there was somebody there. I don't know, uncomfortable with a listing agent that we don't know coming in and bringing in people, a little uncomfortable with that. So River Hills was willing to do it. In fact, they were the only one we could find that was willing to do that for us. So we listed with River Hills, sold the house in about a week. Pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
They have offices, and it's all about service, all about the work they do for you. In Barneveld, Little Falls, Utica, Copenhagen, Newport, coming soon to Rome, and Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota. Beautiful there if you want to maybe sample some of the snowbird life. There's an opportunity there. It's River Hills Properties. Online, riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
Scott, November is a special month here at New York Sash.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
Well, yes, but it's also when we focus on giving back to our veterans.
That's right. New York Sash supports our veterans all year long with our Shower for a Soldier bath makeover giveaway and our veterans discount of 22% off every product.
But this November, we're going even further with Projects for a Purpose.
For every scheduled appointment in our showroom, we'll donate $50 to feed our vets.
So when you stop in for your next home improvement project,
it's the kind of project that truly has a purpose.
And everyone can take advantage of that 22% veterans discount. You don't have to be a vet to show your support.
So stop into the New York Sash Idea and Design Center showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. See all of our products on display, get your questions answered, and schedule your free in-home, no-pressure price quote.
Get on that train and head to the Rome Capitol Theater to see A Man Named Cash, a tribute to the legendary Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash. It's happening on Saturday, November 9th at 7:30 p.m. Explore Johnny's amazing legacy featuring hits like Folsom Prison Blues, I Walk the Line, Hurt, and more. Plus, enjoy the amazing chemistry of Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash. A Man Named Cash, the Johnny and June Carter Cash tribute. Saturday, November 9th at the Rome Capitol Theater. Tickets on sale at RomeCapital.com. Presented by Entertainment Services.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton. Life can be tough, full of judgment and negativity, but for 30 minutes a day, you can forget all that and focus on yourself. Just like one of our members, Irene, who mentions that everyone's cheering for each other, pushing through the sweat, the tough moments, and even the stuff that feels a little sucky. Irene also mentions finding the strength, the confidence, and a real fitness family here is outstanding. Come join us, embrace the challenge, and find your fitness home at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
Journey through a classic story of small wonders and big dreams.
Not a second can we spare, 'cause it all comes down to Christmas.
As one of America's favorite Yuletide movies comes to life. Ralphie, his family, and best pals. Live on stage. We triple dog dare you to miss the smash hit A Christmas Story, the musical.
Live on stage November 11th and 12th at the Stanley Theater. Visit BroadwayUtica.org today to get your tickets.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
He digs, he turns, he dives. It is a touchdown. It is a touchdown.
The NFL is on Westwood One.
Uncorks a deep ball downfield into the end zone. A crowd is there, and it is caught. Touchdown. Miraculous.
The NFL plays here all season long on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
The NFL drives a Mazda from Steep. Davey in there. Sorry, I just love that guy's voice. I'm talking about Steep Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Ricky Z says Mazda's More to Move You sales event is back. And while they focus on creating the ultimate customer experience at Steep Pawnee Mazda, they only select their best late model Mazdas for their Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles. The Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles. Sorry.
Ricky Z sells cars
Ricky
here.
Z sells cars, and the NFL is on the radio. Sunday at 9, by the way, 9:15 we're on.
Yes, for the overseas game.
They offer the 160-point inspection and balance of the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty at Steep Pawnee Mazda. And as Rick says, if you need a lower payment or a lower price, let's make your deal on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle where it's always easy to do business. Steep Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Hi, Billy Mays here with the brand new Keeler Kill Switch. When that morning show starts yapping about something you can't stand, don't reach for the dial. Just press this big red button and BAM!
This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
I have wasted my time.
I pushed my time.
You said something's never wasted.
Something bad about wasted.
But I think I've wasted mine.
I don't know what he said there.
'Cause I've been sitting and waiting.
I've been slipping out somewhere.
You said you always would.
You said you love me.
You gained nothing by complaining.
Stop beginning out.
But I said I wish I could.
Sorry.
It's Friday morning karaoke on Keeler.
It is.
We're gonna get dinged.
If only. No, that's a license-free song. I found. And the guy's singing. I don't even know what it. Dingo. I don't know what he's singing. But I do like it. I like that song.
Now let's go to Scott.
Okay.
He knows the answers, and then I'm going to
Man,
quit singing.
We're going to need to do karaoke together, me and you. That'd be epic.
And
Scott,
I'm going to make sure I'm not there when it happens.
Scott in Kirkville. Good morning, Scott. Good morning.
Guys. Hey, actually, I had a song dedication. Maybe you can help out because I know you played the song all the time. At least you used to. How about the song? I don't want to work. I just want to bang the drums all day. I want to shout out to Little Italy from New York City. How's that?
We play that every morning, every Friday morning
great.
to start the show.
Great.
Yeah.
Usually it was great because you're kind of wandering in to to the studio, so
yeah.
I know I'm going to hear the 20-minute version of the song. It's pretty
We
good.
try to do the 20-minute version.
Yeah.
Okay, too much information. Davey, I've lost my...
The over-under was 21 minutes, by the way, you just got in.
My rim shot is gone out of the out of here. You know how to get it back?
I put it back in, so something must have happened. I put it in last Friday as soon as we got done. It was there. I'll have to put it back in.
Instead of a rim shot, we're going to be going with this.
What's that?
No, this.
Stirring performance, boys. I was really moved.
Yeah, really.
What did you say?
I want to thank for Micah, the countertop lawyer, for setting a record for most clicks. I guess you guys were talking about Howard Potter, and I guess he had over 100 clicks. Were you talking about Howard Potter's new book? I'm a foiler, not a spoiler. Is that why? That's why you guys are.
Oh, that is. I think there would be some people sitting in an administrative office probably right now saying that was funny. After his 900th foil.
Yeah, I mean, of course, his political movie didn't do too well. Foil again too, but
Foil again
Chuck Lester, I gotta give him credit, man. I mean, his movie's still going on. It goes, I'm you're laughing already. Yeah. So his movie's doing pretty good. So it.
Yeah, that's good. Well, how are you doing, Scott? How are you doing?
He's looking for a primary. That's what he's doing. So
that is true. That is.
What are we talking about? I'm lost.
Well, he's kind of all over. He's throwing things at the wall to see if they stick.
Was he talking about Harry Potter or Howard Potter?
Howard Potter, yeah, the new movie, yeah. Foil again too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Foil again too.
Yeah. And then you got Chuck Lester, a rebel without a primary. He but his movie did better than Howard Potter's.
Yeah. So, I think right now Chuck Lester is retired from politics. I don't know if he's retired,
really?
But he's not currently
holding
office.
How's the water problem in Ilion? I heard you guys a while back. Someone called in and says that they go as far as Charlotte to bring in their own water when they come and visit. That they still got a water problem.
Right. Isn't that where the?
It's clearing up. We talked with.
It has, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting better, and there's. We just talked with the mayor about the new project that they're replacing a bunch of the pipelines. What is it from the pipe that goes from the road to the house? That they've got a fund, and that otherwise people would have to pay out of pocket for that, and they don't.
Scott in Kirkville is a betting enthusiast who actually assists with Davey in making money. Davey, you recently won a big bet,
last
right?
Night.
Yeah.
Last night.
What'd you win last night?
I did. I did a small bet on the over the total points in the first half for the South Carolina UTSA game.
How much is a small bet?
South Florida.
South Florida. I won $55.
Okay.
Good job, Smitty.
Nice.
Which, by the way, if we're looking for a song for, I was going to say Lance, but Scott, it's Lord, I Was Born a Ramblin' Man, huh? He is all over the place this
today.
morning.
You're all over.
Can we get to the picks?
Can I like Bob Seger there. That's one right there. The Bob Seger there.
Like a rock?
No. It's Gambling Man.
Oh, Gambling Man.
He's asked me to play that. He said,
Rambling Man.
He says, Davey, you should play that Gambling Man song for me.
Bobby Seger, 1968.
We have rock in, is it Rocky in Utica, Manasseh?
Well, Rocky said here that you had a rough couple of weeks, but he says you went 3 for 5 last week on the pitch you gave out here on the air.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know what definition rough is. I've given you out Indiana for almost 2 years, or 18-2 against the team total. And last week Texas Tech and Utah. Those are the three I've given out basically all year.
Yeah.
And
I think
Utah's not playing this year.
I think Rocky stepped on a toe here a little bit.
No, I'm just saying that I don't. That not everything's equal. You want to give me five? Right. I tell you the top three and the top 3 won. I mean, Texas Tech has covered everything at home in their team total. And Utah, if you saw what the final score was, they went over the team total by themselves the whole game.
Yeah.
So
don't be bothered. Don't be defensive about it. I wouldn't.
No, I'm just saying Detroit was interesting. They scored 24, in Dallas, I don't know what they were doing. They were down 17 and still not kicking field goals. So, it made no sense.
All right, here is. I want to bring in Kathy. She's been waiting. Michigan State, Kathy.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hello,
Kathy.
good morning.
Good morning.
I tell you, I was so excited. Colgate was good. They'll be good down the road. They'll be much better.
I wouldn't be. I think that it was a game for the first half, right? And then all of a sudden, Michigan State pulled away.
Yes, they play Arkansas tomorrow evening, and that's on TV.
What do you think of that, Scott?
Yeah, it could be. I'm glad, Kathy, you put your groceries away earlier this week than last week, and you got your fish early, so you tuned in. It's pretty. It's good. So, I'm glad you're probably not talking football, right?
No, I think she's talking basketball.
They're at a loss. I tell you, they're not. I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely need a defensive coordinator. That's for sure, and it's interesting because they brought in Smith because of the offense, and it's been spotty at best. But I don't know with the NIL where the money is and stuff like that.
What do you think of that game? It's hard. It's hard in preseason, right, or early season. We're not in preseason, but early season, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. I tell you, a lot of teams struggled. Kentucky struggled against who they were played, and Lemoyne played well against Xavier last night. They only lost by 5, and they're down 3 at halftime. And Boston College lost. It's difficult with this NIL because these players just don't stick around until you see the teams. There's going to be a great game to get off the track a little bit, but if you actually must-see TV, at 12 noon, you got Alabama and St. John's.
Okay.
So
right.
you can't bet it, but in New York, you got pro side. But man,
right.
That's a whole thing.
Right.
And a team that actually I won on.
Okay, thank you, Kathy's. She's checking out. All right,
Okay,
Kathy.
Thanks, Michigan State, Kathy.
Take care.
I tell you, the team to watch out for. It's going to be a little under the radar until the market catches up to them. Michigan can score this in college, and I'm talking basketball. They played Oakland, and they had 69 at halftime. The team total went up to, the game went up to 176, and combined they scored over 200. But keep an eye on Michigan. They beat St. John's in an exhibition game at the Garden.
Okay.
And we'll keep an eye on Michigan until the market for the team totals catches up to them.
All right, give people a couple of picks for the weekend.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to go back to some old reliables. Texas Tech is playing BYU. Might be the best game at 12 o'clock Saturday. Texas Tech should be around the team total 31. Tonight, Memphis is playing Tulane, and they're in the same league as South Florida, and they're fighting for that non-Power 4. The only thing is they played with a backup quarterback last week and still scored a ton of points. Their team total, I think this over-under is low at 52 combined between them and Tulane tonight. So look at Memphis is going to be around the 30 range, 29 or 30. This is a weird one. Is there going to be a sucking game or what? But Oregon, that scores points, is playing Iowa, and it could be a weather game. That's another thing you got to keep an eye on now. The over/under for the whole game is 43, which if you follow Oregon, that's basically a game they will score by themselves. So I like Oregon around the 23 marker. And then you have to have a reason why you watch the Buffalo-Miami game. So let's go with the team total Buffalo around 28 and 29. And you might want to turn it into an episode if that game gets out of hand, a Real Housewives of the Mohawk Valley.
That's got to be exciting. Yeah. All right.
Their episode is a retro one. They're talking about how they got their thrills on Vickerman Hill and stuff like that.
I found my thrill on Vickerman Hill.
Yep.
Did you make money during with horse racing last weekend?
Yes. We remember we said that the three horses. I keyed the one Forceness, and the three horses that finished first, not in the order, but first, second, and third in last year's race did the same thing.
Okay.
In fact, it was the Bill Keeler special Japanese Rod Stewart horse, Forever Young, actually won the race.
Love it. Yes.
With Sierra Leone and Ford finished third. for $2, you picked up 120 for the try.
Oh, that's awesome.
And,
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it was profitable. I was shocked to pay that much because those were three of the obvious. And if you watch the races, and that's the key thing, is the track was playing a lot of speed. You had to be close to the lead, and so it worked out pretty good. And Vernon put on, it was Vernon.
Nice little weekend there.
Nice little weekend there.
All
yeah.
right. All right, Scott. Thank you, man. Win some money this weekend. Thank you.
Will do.
All right.
Will do. Bye.
Scott in Kirkville, and his picks for the weekend. I know nothing about horse racing or any of that stuff. I swear it is you might as well just, if you're betting the horses, you might as well just hand over the money and say, here, take this. It's a gift from me. I can't do it.
You got to pick by name. If you don't know anything, just go with the names you like. Yeah.
It is a great time for a new bath from New York Sash. All baths, special financing available. You could have a brand new bathroom in 2 days. Stop by. You'll see them on display in their showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, where you can see over a dozen beautiful baths on display, styles and colors, options for everyone. Check their Google reviews, over 850 Google reviews, and it tells the story. Don't wait. Get to New York Sash and ask about the bath makeover. And there's special financing available for you. And think about it, the Teddy Bear Toss is just around the corner. To New York Sash, Oriskany Boulevard, Whitesboro, and NewYorkSash.com.
Mattress Express's legendary Thanksgiving night sale is on 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thanksgiving night only. Take your pick. A $1,500 prepaid Visa card, a massage chair, or a 100-inch TV. Thanksgiving night only. All staff working voluntarily.
Be cozy this winter. Add Smart Heat Pump heating and cooling to your home. Call City Suburban today, 315-853-3899, or go online to citysuburban.com. That's citysuburban.com.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Some firsts you'd like to leave in the rearview mirror. Other firsts are life-changing. 90 years ago, Nokian Tires changed driving with our first, the invention of the winter tire. Today, we're still the leader in winter driving with more than 100 patents and 200 days of testing in the Arctic every year. Winter is our first love. Make winter safety your first priority. Nokian Tires. First things first. Visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tolmanstire.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
After a wet weekend, it will get cold enough for some snow to mix in later on Monday. In the meantime, some gusty winds on this Friday with rain spreading in through the afternoon at a high of 54. Cloudy with showers likely tonight and a low of 43. Some more clouds into the weekend with periods of rain and high temperatures hitting the low 50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, we have, it's a chilly, I'd say a chilly start, and nothing like we're going to see on Monday and Tuesday. But we're at cloudy skies, 36 degrees at WIBX.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, you okay over there?
I'm fine. You're worried about Monday and Tuesday. Wait till December and January get here.
I know.
It's only going to get worse from here. It'll get worse before it gets better again.
It goes downhill from here. The Christmas Story, a Christmas Story, with a leg lamp and all that, is coming to the Stanley Theater. November 11th and 12th. That's next week at 7:30 at the Stanley Theater, brought to you by Broadway Utica. And we have, Davey, if I am correct, we have a pair of tickets to give away. Is that absolutely correct?
You are correct, and it's for the Tuesday night, the opening night.
All you have to do is one person, the first person to tell Davey the artist and the title of this song. Should be very easy. But the first one will win the tickets. Please only call if you want to go to the show. Here it is. Listen carefully to this holiday song. It's a little clip. You know that, Davey, right? If you don't, come in here but I know you know it. In studio right now is the county executive, Anthony Pacenti. Good morning.
Good morning.
I didn't realize, but I was Keith Scheibel. Scheibel. It's not Scheibel. It's not Scheibel. It's Scheibel.
Scheibel. It's Scheibel.
And I thought it was kind of funny how he brought the planned mispronunciation of your name during a recent election. Was it Passante or however you were
like
being,
the salsa?
Yes,
Picante.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
So, all right. Well, listen, I want to start with that.
Yeah, sure.
Keith Scheibel, Oneida County legislator, is put together quite a case against Chairman Ken Rozier and is asking for him to either step down or to be removed. What are your thoughts?
Well, obviously, the chairman and I have never seen eye to eye.
Yeah.
It's not a secret. That's not anything that's, that no one in the circle knows.
Right.
Knows otherwise.
Well,
look,
yeah, it has been. I like to say I don't like people who don't like me.
I think there's a couple things here, and I think
there's a role
I mean,
there.
I clearly think they've wasted a year. I mean, first of all, let's talk about the elections because I think that has an impact on it. I think everything that
the chaos,
everything that Keith had said, and it's almost like it's inherent lately with a lot of these county chairs because they are not focused on what they're supposed to be focused on, and they are not. And in particular, this particular chairman, believes that the elected officials serve him and not the other way around the way it's supposed to be. And the way and whether, you start in support of the ticket from the top down, and I mean the president or whatever, but the point on how you do that is locally.
Right.
And while, this... I really, it's hard to describe. I thought Keith did an outstanding job in articulating the problems here. I think that, I've been doing this. I was a committeeman when I was 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I know this system, as good as anybody. Senator Griffo and others and all of us, that have been around. That is not how this party is supposed to be run, or any party for that matter. Let's just talk about it. This party is supposed to function as a system to help promote the Republican Party, elect Republican people on the local level, yes, on the state level, which are local, obviously.
But really to carry out the agenda.
But and again, going back to, serving and looking at the electorate and what the electorate has chosen, and in particular when it comes to Republicans here. And so, this whole nonsense about bylaws and dictatorship rule on a meeting and waste of time of rules
and money.
And saying that nobody uses Robert's Rules of Order.
Yeah.
Is that the most insane
Nobody
thing?
uses that anymore.
Nobody uses it anymore. It's obsolete.
Go to C-SPAN just for a second and just watch C-SPAN.
I do support everything that Keith said. I do support this. I am as frustrated as others. And, it's one of those things that we have to deal with. But it's also, I think it's a reflective of what just happened. And I think that that's reflective, across the state and across the country because these county chairs, have lost the focus of what they're supposed to do.
It's almost as if so I had a complaint from someone who was a candidate being interviewed by the county committee. And their complaint was all the questions were about national issues.
Right.
Not about the things that affect us right here in Oneida
and
County.
look, your county chair, I expect you to support the president when he runs.
Right.
When he runs.
Yeah.
Or whoever runs. But you have, you had local races here, and even in a small, your job was to get the vote out, which didn't happen. Didn't happen in New York City, obviously. I mean, that's a whole nother story.
Different, yeah.
But they had 4 years and they couldn't get. They got a guy who got 7% of the vote on the Republican ticket. This is going to sound, I'm sure Lance and Leo called, but I think I could have got 7% on the ticket, and I might have got 8.
Yeah, because there were people voting. There were people just voting.
Yeah. I mean, so, but back to back to locally and everything. I think that was indicative. The Republicans stayed home because there was no reason for them to go out.
Yeah.
Yet there was a reason for them to go out.
Right.
And that's the party's job, and they didn't do it.
There was somebody complaining
because they were because this chairman and his leadership, and if you want to call it that, were just enthralled with themselves and their own makeup of how they were going to run meetings rather than how they were going to get people elected.
Or spending $10,000 in Rome to get rid of
in a lawsuit against Republicans, against the mayor's, the mayor's committee, because all of these committees always used to belong to the party, and that goes for the Democrat Party too. It works both ways. The Democrats work the same way, or at least they should.
Clearly, the Democrats were organized, and it seemed, despite having a few controversial candidates, were very focused.
Well, and look, nationally, the Republicans, and I'm not afraid to say that nationally, the Republicans misplayed the closure.
Yeah,
and it showed. Now, you kind of might expect a Democrat in New Jersey to win, but not
Virginia.
not to the extent and the
that was like 12 points or something.
12 or 15 points in Virginia, or 15 or 12 in Jersey, and everything else. And even locally, look what happened to our Supreme Court races. And Onondaga was that. That was Onondaga, but that was the vote that got out, and we didn't get enough out.
And then you have the debacle that was Elise Stefanik's move to become
again
ambassador.
Back to the role of those chairmen. That role of those chairmen was to determine, whether it was through Elise as the incumbent, and even as far as to the congressional leadership, how do you want us to proceed? Not we'll do it on our own. I mean, that's not the way.
And everybody did it.
Everybody was out.
So much so
everybody was out for themselves. Let's put it that way.
So much so that the White House decided we can't risk it.
Right. Everybody was out for themselves. They couldn't come up with a consensus candidate, even though there was one. That there was supposed to be one in the mix, and then it became a circus.
And either you're going to fight for anybody, you'd fight for your local guy.
Well, I mean, and look, especially in the context, it's like, who do you want? Who do you want us to go with?
Right.
I mean, I worked, I've worked in the governor's administration. I've worked, for county executives, and obviously in my own. And it's, I have people ask, all the time.
With a large district, you have to, as a party, you really have to do it that way.
You do.
You have different. Everybody's fighting against each other, you end up with what just happened.
It's a call for leadership, but leadership in terms of how are we going to, again, how are we going to win this seat? Not who's going to make me look the best, and what, and how much money can I raise by doing that.
Procedurally, what Keith Schiebel talked about, and actually he's put into a letter that is going to the state chair. Procedurally, there are some egregious. I mean, the Roberts Rule, just the fact that there's an executive committee now that oversees things to the point where they can kick people out of the party.
Yeah, I have been, and like I said, I go back to 19 years old, and I remember a lot of contentious.
I'll bet.
Contests within the committee for whether it was for Senate seats, assembly seats, county executive seats, judges, everything. Yeah, back and forth, tight votes. Never had to call police to come and get somebody out of it.
Let's go back to something modern, more recent times. The debate over cutting a deal with the United Nations.
Well,
I mean, even that was contentious
Right.
with certain
was.
members.
It was.
But there was a
It was.
procedure to be able to get through that.
It was. But the other thing is, look, you got a chairman here who, attacks me, attacks my policies, who's the Republican, attacks the mayors of both cities who are Republicans, who does not do that. That has never happened.
Yeah.
In this, even if I've had, and look, I've had disagreements with previous chairmen, where we disagreed, but when we stepped out, that was never aired in that way or publicly displayed that way. It's unfortunate. I mean, I don't like to be in that position, but I think the other thing here is, I was asked by one of the chairman's cohorts at that time, well, what do you think about the change? And I'm like, don't you think the change is good? And I'm like, and I think I said this on this program at that time. So we have the Republicans hold the county executive, the controller, the county clerk, the district attorney, the board of legislators, the mayor of Rome, the mayor of Utica, the Senate seat, 3 assembly seats. What am I missing? 16 of 26 towns and growing. I mean, so what did the change? What change are you looking for here?
I know Lance is gonna feel like I've got a jug of your water in both arms.
So is he called in? Although he gave James a compliment yesterday.
He
Said
did.
It was one of my better hires, which I think all of them are good. But we kind of joked. I thought that that comment was maybe Lance and Lee is James's mother. And
that could be. Maybe we figured out who it is. That's the big question. Like, who is Lance and Lee? But at the end, we are at a point where there are so many good things that are happening, and we're moving in such a good direction.
Right.
I don't understand the dissension.
Right. I don't either. And look, I don't want to take anything away there, from the Democratic Party in terms they worked hard. They got their vote out. They did what they should. And for everybody, that's not to say that we should, monopolize every election. But we still did very well in this county to an extent, with the exception. We did lose, possibly 2 seats on the Board of Legislators. There were, again, Utica. Utica came out very heavily, on that side and on that party. They did their work on that. We have, and rather than promoting what we have accomplished, they're trying to tear down what? I really don't know what the teardown is about.
Well, the way you described it is attacking the county executive, the mayors of Utica and Rome, all Republicans. It sounds like he wants to be the guy to make the decisions. I don't know anything more than the way that's described.
Jeff, that's an excellent assumption because, but that is not. Then run for county executive. Then what do you want me to tell you? Or run for mayor if you can, or run
or
for
whatever.
Office. Run for whatever, because I'm elected. Just like I'm elected by the people, just like Jeff, just like Mike, just like Joe, just like Brian, just like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're elected by the people. He's elected by a body. And his that's different. You don't. That's not. You're not in that arena.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to county chairs, county committees are very valuable in helping people get elected. And they serve, the candidates in the Republican Party. The elected officials are not, are not, the ones who have to, are not, they serve us. The chair's role is to serve us as elected officials in that party moving forward.
Doesn't it seem like there was a time in a dark room where there was smoke, and certainly in the local city or town committees, but wasn't there a time when there was some big guy?
Are you describing me smoking big?
Tammany Hall?
With a cigar?
Tammany Hall or whatever?
Yeah, right?
Of course. Of course there was.
But you still followed procedure
you
at
did.
that point.
And in the history of county chairs and of elected officials, there was that support and come together. And even when it was a county chairman that perhaps one of us didn't support at that time,
Right.
or the electeds didn't. But you came together. You knew what the role was. The role was not an independent. I'm going to dictate what happens, especially when you have people who have been in office for a number of years, but people who have won these seats.
Yeah.
You treated Brandon Williams wonderfully,
right?
But not the rest of us,
right?
Right. I think we've got our work to do, and I think but there is a cycle just like everything else, and we'll deal with this. But I think there's got to be a wake up on a lot of, I think, across the board in the Republican Party, in particular on this election, of what is the focus going to be on.
Do you believe he should step down?
I do. I don't believe I don't believe his interests of this party are in concert with what the leadership of this party, and I consider myself the leadership. I consider Senator Griffo the leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I consider Mike Galimi the leadership, and Jeff Flanagan the leadership, and others that have run for office, that have put our name on the ballot, and gotten elected, and Brian Miller and Bob Smullen and Elise Stefanik and everyone else. I believe that that's the leadership of the party.
Right.
And then it falls after that. And so, that we're not in concert is not right. And so, and he's not going to do that. I know that. And but the point here is, we have a record. We have been, I think, have done very, very well for this community, and we'll continue to do that. So, while all politics is local, and I get that, this is something that's an internal thing, but it has to get resolved at some point.
I'd like to pepper you with a couple things quickly,
Yeah.
and then I have an announcement from the city of Utica that I want to share and follow up on
So
the story.
that release is out now.
That release is out. Okay, so your buddy Lance chimed in. I'll summarize it by saying this. You say you haven't raised taxes in 13 years, but he cites himself specifically. My tax bill went up. It's about $100 now, more now than it was 10 years ago. How is that? Not a
How is
tax
that?
hike.
That's equalization rates.
We talk about this several
that all the
times,
time.
yeah.
In this year, I raised taxes 2.9%. 12 municipalities went down because of assessed value, not because and 12 went down of 29.
But in that case, some will go up.
Some will go up.
Yeah.
But 12 went down.
Right.
So I mean but here's the kicker. Last year when it was 0, only 9 went down. Figure that one out.
Right.
But that's the way equalization and assessments are based.
Secondly, what will happen to small towns like Lee with the sales tax redistribution plan?
Well, if they're towns like Lee, if I could ever be successful in redistributing sales tax, it's more about the villages and less about the towns now. I would like to look at a formula that is based on, for the towns on population and on assessed value combination. So, Lee would not suffer. Lee's got quite a bit of money in the bank, and so do all these other towns.
I want to also, Lance, wasn't Tony going against the committee when he publicly endorsed Andrew Cuomo?
Yeah, well, let me answer that. I figured that was going to come up
Yeah,
because the chairman has thrown that at my face, too. President Trump endorsed him last week.
That is a very good point. Yeah.
We both make mistakes. We both make mistakes. I
Yeah.
guess mine was over a dozen years ago.
Touche.
His was 5. His was 3 days
Boy,
ago.
that answer,
So
I didn't see that coming.
You want to throw that at me? Have at it. Go talk to your
Yeah.
buddy Donald.
I have to say that's a good answer.
And, so
Do
there
you
you
want
go.
to take that mic and unplug it and just drop it?
Drop it after that one? Okay.
No, hang on. I got a couple more.
Oh, boy. I like this.
Speaking of Trump and the presidential administration, you held a press conference yesterday on
I did.
staff benefits. Could you kind of outline what you wanted to
well,
talk
I
about?
think today, by the way, there will be some resolution.
Bill has put in a $50 bet on
resolution
DraftKings.
is going to take time, though. It's got to. This is
not
not.
going to happen
This
instantly.
is not something that can happen.
The
instantly.
ramp up is just like with air traffic. This isn't just a snap and
My
be over
point is
with.
that look, I know that we talked about it before when I was on. We had 900. We had over 1,000 people in 2 days come in for food vouchers for the need of this. I mean, this is just Oneida County. I mean, it's a massive undertaking. My point yesterday was to let people know that we're open, we're extending our hours, we're doing what we can. You're talking families, children,
yes,
seniors. I mean, and they need to get in a room and stop this now. I mean, America shouldn't go hungry.
Have you voiced your opinion with John Mannion?
I have. I've talked to John. I mean, and I've talked to Elise. And look, I get it. There's two of them. You know, and I said this yesterday. I was asked. I mean, there's 435. But again, let me back up because I know the role. This is the leadership. This is Mike Johnson. This is Hakeem Jeffries. This is
the president.
You know, the president. This is
Schumer, who didn't want to do this, but he's caving.
And, I can't even think of them.
Yeah,
the majority
Pelosi.
leader.
Covered. It was good cover.
The majority leader right now.
In the
Senate.
In the Senate. Is
boy, that's bad. I drew a blank.
Who is the?
So there you go. But there you go. Thum.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So what? I mean, get in a room, and figure this out. And
Thank you know,
I mean, and you know, we've gone through these extended. I mean, 37 days. What about the federal workers? You know, I mean, air traffic controllers, Social Security, Rome Lab. You know, all of these other people that are out. I mean, that's another thing. Let alone the people that don't have and are not getting a paycheck. I know some people who are working odd jobs and
when you're seeing the food, when you're seeing the food lines, and I don't mean to be discriminating in any way, but when you see pictures on TV of these lines, these are working people waiting in these lines.
They are. I mean, it's an unfair, you know, characterization, you know, and stereotype of this. That should not be the case, you know, when it comes to this. These are people. I mean, listen, there are people that work in government. I mean, in county government, because you know, I mean that could be eligible. I mean, this is not a piece for just for.
This is not just a complete handout, is what people are trying to.
You know, regardless, I mean, do you really want to look at that?
No one should go without.
No one should go.
You're right.
This is America.
I went down a wrong road.
It's the United States of America.
We're going to be taken for Kilmeade. Thank you. We'll continue this next week.
Good.
Thank you.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Check with your airline. CJ Papa, Fox News. That's if you have a flight today or for the foreseeable future. A large number of flights are canceled. Delays are stacking up this morning. Stems from the government shutdown, which reaches day 38.
We got to figure out a way to work this out just to get the country back in order. It's, it's been going on far too long. All this fighting is just crazy.
Fox's Jonathan Serra reporting from the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta.
Things are busy here at the world's busiest airport, but they are moving along. The TSA checkpoints are reporting wait times anywhere from no wait to 15 minutes, so that's pretty good, but passengers are noticing the effects. Federal transportation officials are cutting back on flights incrementally, starting with a 4% reduction today, leading up to a 10% reduction next Friday across 40 high-traffic airports, including New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and here in Atlanta.
Now, Republicans want to apply the pressure to Democrats, and could a move lead to the government reopening?
Senate Republicans are aiming for a test vote on a new spending package that would include long-term funding for the Department of Agriculture, the legislative branch, and the military until next fall. It would also include a promise for a vote on Obamacare subsidies. The deal's fate hinges on Democrats, though. Many want the government to reopen, but progressives